into his Patriotic Alliance Deputy President, Kenny Kunene, has been cleared by the party of any wrongdoing following an investigation into his alleged criminal connections. Kunene was being investigated after he was found at the Sandton home of Katiso KT Molefe in July when police showed up to arrest the controversial businessman. Molefe is currently charged with being the mastermind of DJ Somebody's murder in 2022. Kunene said he was at Molefe's house accompanying a young journalist from his online news website, Africa News Global. Kunene was subsequently suspended by the PA and he resigned from his position as Johannesburg Transport MMC. PA President Gauteng McKenzie announced last night on Facebook that the investigation by a law firm found Kunene's story checks out.
To the DP, you've shown absolute leadership. When you were asked to step down from being an MMC, you asked me, must I also step down as a councillor? I said yes. You stepped down from being a councillor. You never went out to go and badmouth the party.
Residents of Kokosi and Fortville in Joburg's West Rand have threatened a total shutdown this morning because of continued water supply issues. Several parts of Mirafong local municipality have been without supply for almost 3 weeks now. The crisis was sparked by the municipality's 1.4 billion rand debt to Rand Water, which has resulted to 40% cuts in bulk supply in some areas. Thando Luhlengcobo reports.
The community water crisis in the Mirafong region has reached boiling point, with residents in Kokosi, Joburg's West Rand, reportedly damaging infrastructure to access water. This comes as frustrations mount over what local leaders are calling a man-made disaster. The Greater Fortville Water Crisis Committee says boreholes are being drilled by private citizens and long queues form at points where water is available. At the same time, many households are reportedly paying their water bills. This has led to the accusations that the water crisis is being used for political ends, with communities being punished despite compliance. Today, the residents have threatened a total shutdown of schools, public transport, and no working until their water woes are addressed. Thando Luhlengcobo, Eyewitness News.
National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola has revealed that he informed President Cyril Ramaphosa about Police Minister Senzo Mchunu's attempt to disband the Political Killings Task Team. Masemola testified at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry in Pretoria yesterday, which is investigating allegations of police corruption. KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has alleged that Mchunu may have instructed the disbandment of the task team to shield criminal syndicates. Alfara Mushwana reports.
National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola says although he opposed Police Minister Senzo Mchunu's bid to disband the Political Killings Task Team, he eventually conceded to the instruction because of mounting pressure. He says once it became evident that Mchunu was determined to dissolve the unit, he escalated the matter to the president as a last resort.
The only avenue I know is the president. There was no assistance, and I can't go to court taking the same minister to court.
At the heart of the issue was the interpretation of Section 207 of the Constitution, which states that the National Police Commissioner must exercise control over SAPS in line with the directions of the police minister. Masemola admits that Mchunu's instruction to disband the Political Killings Task Team was not supported by the Constitution. Despite this, he still conceded to the minister's order. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
And dozens of world leaders have embraced a Palestinian state during a gathering at the United Nations. They've described this as a landmark diplomatic shift nearly 2 years into the Gaza war that faces fierce resistance from Israel and its close ally, the US. The leaders of 6 countries, including France, have moved to recognize Palestinian statehood during the high-level summit in New York. The recognition by Australia, Britain, Canada and Portugal piles pressure on Israel as it intensifies its war in Gaza, where its forces have killed more than 65,000 Palestinians. The 2023 Hamas attack in Israel, where more than 1,200 people died, triggered the war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed not to allow a Palestinian state, and members of his cabinet have threatened to annex the West Bank to make statehood impossible. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says there should be no feeling of intimidation due to a risk of retaliation.
Statehood for the Palestinians is a right, not a reward. And denying statehood would be a gift to extremists everywhere. Without two states, there will be no peace in the Middle East, and radicalism will spread around the world.
Gold is trading at $3,746.59 an ounce. The rand is at 17.35 to the dollar, 23.45 to the pound, 20.48 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $66.36 a barrel.
There's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the M1 South between the Crown Interchange and Boysons Road due to an accident reported. Along this route, traffic is also backed up on the M1 North between Boysons and the Crown Interchange while travelling on the N3 South. Please be on the lookout for roadworks taking place between Marlborough Drive and Linksfield Road due to roadworks.
And in your sport, the Proteas women lose the third ODI but still beat Pakistan 2-1 in the series and are confident going into next week's World Cup. Quinton de Kock has come out of retirement but is not guaranteed a spot in the Proteas T20 World Cup team next year. And the Ballon d'Or Men's and Women's Awards won by France's Ousmane Dembele and Spain's Aitana Bonmati.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers expected and thunder showers as well. Johannesburg starting at 12 degrees, peaking at 30. Pretoria 16 and 32. Vereniging 10 and 31. The top story in EWN this hour. Patriotic Alliance Deputy President Kenny Gunene has been cleared by the party of any wrongdoing following an investigation into his alleged criminal connections.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Seven minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to 702 Breakfast. My name is Bongani Bingwa. Welcome wherever you are listening to us from. Bellevue East, Benrose, Berea, Bertram's, Bromfontein, Basonia. It's all the B's, isn't it? If you're listening to BB. See where that went? This is 702 Breakfast. We love bringing you the news, trying to make sense of it so you can make decisions that will impact your future, your investments, your family. That's exactly what it's about. These conversations matter beyond just our chatter, and that's why we bring them to you. So, on our menu today, the president has jetted off to New York for the United Nations General Assembly. He is arguing for reform of the Organization of International Nations. What kind of reform is he seeking? What would it mean? Is it just about changing the Security Council? Remember those 5 permanent members who have veto power over anything the General Assembly might agree on? So this was an organization meant to form a family of nations, if you will. There would be respect for equality and sovereignty all around the world. No longer could one nation, because it had might, conquer and invade another. Except, who's invaded Ukraine? One of the permanent 5. Who bombed Iran? One of the permanent 5.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
So even if you say, and the permanent 5 of course include the United States, Russia, France, Britain and China. Now if you say Africa needs a seat, let's expand the members of the Security Council. Let's maybe make it 10 and throw in a couple of African nations. Don't you make it even more cumbersome and unwieldy? Because if you can hardly persuade 5 members to agree, how do you think you're going to get consensus among 10? Are we just trying to join the bullies club so that we too can strut our stuff on the international stage? And what does it all mean if you don't have the power to back that up? South Africa was vetoing things because, let's say we could, we can't even solve issues on our own continent. Our military is a shadow of what it once was. So we don't have the economic muscle. We certainly don't have the military might. What are we doing seeking to be a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council? Does the Global South still really need this organization? Those are questions we'll put to Vincent Magwenya, who'll be talking to us. I think he's also in New York. I'm pretty sure he'll be talking to us from New York now that I think about it. And then we know the Road Accident Fund has been mired in all sorts of allegations of corruption and mismanagement. But the stakes have been raised higher now because we are hearing not only are lawyers compromised when it comes to the Road Accident Fund, but it might be that judges too may have been caught in its corrupt web. That's a staggering thing to think. So we will be speaking to Sangazo Zibi, who is the chairperson of SCOPA in Parliament. There, of course, we'll be probing all of those allegations to look into exactly what it is that we are hearing about corrupt judges and how that might impact the rule of law in South Africa. And of course, we heard, and you might have seen on television yesterday, visuals of Operation Dudula activists. Vigilantes is what I call them. Activists for who? Activists sound so civic-minded. They're not civic-minded. They're breakers of the law. They were preventing kids from going to schools in parts of Gauteng yesterday. The department wants to come on and explain that they condemn this in no uncertain terms. So what is to be done about it? That's a question we will put to them. And then just before 9 o'clock, we'll tell you about a fantastic festival, the Park View Heritage Festival, which promises books, bubbles, and buzz.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
12 minutes after 6 o'clock. Here's a question. As always, we start with a question to illustrate something that's in the news that we want to tell you about. I'm not alone, of course. My colleagues Amuramila and Nogukhanya Mdambo are in the studio with me. And so, ladies, let me ask you this question. I'll start with you, Nogukhanya. How easy is it for you to watch a film on television in your house, either by yourself or with someone else, without interruption? Can you sit through an episode of your favorite series without interruption? And by interruption, I mean from your mobile device.
No.
Or devices.
No. Good morning to you, Bongani, and to the 702 landers as well. It's really impossible. I struggle. It takes me a good couple of days even to finish just a single film. I was telling Amu yesterday that I started watching Eat, Love, Pray on Saturday. I'm 20 minutes into the movie and I probably won't go any further for a couple of days. It's really difficult. I stop every 2 seconds to check texts. I'm on one of the social medias. I'm on a call randomly.
So, and this is not necessarily work-related information that you cannot ignore.
No.
This is just Nogukhanya living her best life.
The most random stuff. Then I remember I had like a pair of shoes and then I'm on another app and then I remember I didn't respond to Amu's text from like 3 days ago. Then I respond to Amu and then Amu wants a video and then it's going to take me a good I won't finish this current movie in the next 2 weeks probably.
I asked you first because I know Amo is a disciplined human being. She's a mom. She would never allow herself to get distracted.
Oh, isn't that more difficult because I'm a mom then? Because you have to attend to kids every 5 seconds.
Which is what I'm saying, distractions from your devices.
Yeah, so I the only distraction from the device I get is because my husband, when I'm watching something, he would often ask me, oh, who's this lead actor? Who's this lead actress? Do you know her? Oh, do you know some of her work? Then because of that, I'll be forced to Google and check their work. But once that is done, I'm able to focus on whatever I'm watching.
All right. Are you like my two colleagues here in studio, easily distracted? I watched Conclave for the first time. I didn't watch it when it was all the rage. I remember, of course, The Two Popes, which I thought was a really compelling movie. But Conclave surprised me because I didn't quite know what to expect. I didn't finish it in the time that I was meant to watch it in. But I did finish it in one sitting. This was the good part for me. Yeah. I actually thought at the end of it, I thought, well done, you finished in one sitting.
Was that the exception though?
It generally is.
Okay.
It generally is because there's too much news that is happening around the same time. So it used to be that, we would watch whatever we were watching, and then news would take a second seat.
Yeah.
It's the other way around. TV series, movies, in the back seat, in the front, it's what's buzzing all around us. Send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072-702-1702. How easily do you watch news or any series on television or even a movie without getting distracted by your device? We'll tell you why we're asking coming up.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
So much on the go in South Africa. The Patriotic Alliance says it has cleared its Deputy President, Kenny Kunene. This is of any wrongdoing following an investigation into his alleged criminal connections. You remember, of course, he was found, Kenny Kunene, at the Sandton home of one Katiso Katie Molefe when police showed up to arrest this controversial figure. He's currently charged as being the mastermind of DJ Somebody's murder in 2022. Kunene couldn't quite explain why he was at Molefe's house, except to say he was accompanying a young journalist that he was training to go and interview Molefe. And it just so happened, this was such an unfortunate consequence, but he who is the paragon of media virtue and training young journalists, that's the only reason he could possibly have been there. Gauteng McKenzie, the PA president, announcing on Facebook that an investigation by a law firm found that Kunene's story does indeed check out, right? If you believe that, you might believe that the princess really did kiss a frog that turned into a prince. But each to his own, I suppose. The other issue is, of course, we're keeping an eye on the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. And again, we heard some bombs there yesterday. And you may remember an attempt by Mkhonto weSizwe Party and Jacob Zuma to silence the Madlanga Commission. And I don't know what your sense is from what you've heard over this last week or so from Mkhwanazi and then the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masemola, yesterday. I would give advice to Jacob Zuma as follows. Leave it alone. Leave the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. If you want to hurt Cyril Ramaphosa, leave it alone. Because for me, a picture is beginning to emerge of a lackluster, lackadaisical president, uninterested or unable to intervene when he is made aware of clear threats to law enforcement and the state. Do you remember when Shamila Batoy talked about infiltration of the NPA?
Yeah.
And then try to backtrack? Mkhwanazi is saying the same thing about the police. The president knew. He's not hearing this stuff for the first time. But what has he actually done to reverse it? So increasingly, I'm seeing a picture of a president who hears the most explosive things and responds with a kind of ennui. Right? Disinterest. Almost, boredom is perhaps unkind, but maybe fatigue. And I think this commission and what we are hearing already is hurting him more than anybody else. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
I mean, in that regard, let's listen to the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masemola, accusing he's still a minister. So confusing. Accusing the suspended police minister, Senzo Mchunu, of putting pressure on him to disband the KwaZulu-Natal Political Killings Task Team.
Given the fact that the minister was instructing, not soliciting our views of the disbandment of the PKTT, I deemed it necessary to speak to the president about the issue. I spoke to the president on the 1st of February 2025. During this meeting, I mentioned the minister's directive to disband such a successful team, and the president told me that he would speak to the minister. Of course, I didn't really require from the president to say whether he agree or not, but I did tell him that this team is being dissolved, reason unknown, and I said if ever it has to be done, it cannot even be done in this abrupt manner because I don't know what we are chasing. And that's when he says no, he will speak to the minister.
What does that tell you? The president knew. Did he do anything about it? It wasn't until Mkhwanazi spoke up and was calling press conferences that some action took place.
Yeah.
6:20.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9
Look,
a.m.
Kanye, you've got a question of your own?
I certainly do. Good morning again. I want to know from you this morning what your favorite item ice cream flavor is, and if there's actually something new that you'd like to see on the market.
So I really enjoyed, I keep forgetting their name. It sounds so insincere.
Polar.
It's just Polar ice cream, right?
Yeah.
Polar ice cream. They were absolutely fantastic. They were our partners at Walk the Talk.
Yeah.
But I tell you what I used to love. Gino Ginelli. Choc Nut Italiano.
Yeah.
I can't find it anywhere.
I don't think I've seen it.
I can't. Oh, my word. Choc Nut Italiano by Gino Ginelli. Can't find it anywhere.
Maybe that's what they need to bring back.
Should start a protest. Or a commission of inquiry, hey?
Perhaps not. Amu?
Blueberry.
Oh, no.
And cheesecake.
Oh, no.
Yeah, those are really, really... Actually, blueberry ice cream goes very well with the actual cheesecake dessert.
No.
You should try that.
Why are you saying, oh, no?
That's too much sugar.
You just
and this
vanilla.
is coming from somebody who has a sweet tooth, but there's no way I'm eating blueberry and
cheesecake is not that sweet
not
at
a
all.
chance.
It's not.
Are you just vanilla?
Ice cream for me has to be as simple as vanilla. In a cup, in a cone, vanilla. That's it. I walk into a shop, it's got a bunch of flavors. The first place I go to is the vanilla store, and then we can try the rest. But ice cream for me is as simple as vanilla.
All right. That's how you like your ice cream. Vanilla.
702.
Weather.
What weather conditions can we expect on this Tuesday? A partly cloudy store. Yay! A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Isolated showers and thunder showers are expected. Johannesburg max is at 30 degrees. 32 is your high in Pretoria, 31 in Vereeniging. Cape Town can anticipate a 30% chance of rain, a maximum of 18 degrees. Gqeberha and East London, 19. Durban peaks at 21.
EWN Traffic.
22 after 6, this Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo?
Well, we're going to a very busy start to the morning. We've got a major accident scene reported on the Mark 1 North right after Boyson's Road. Delays from Xavier Street to the Crown Interchange. The M1 South is also backed up due to another accident near the Crown Interchange causing those delays. The N3 South bumper-to-bumper traffic between Marlborough Drive and Morafontein Road due to roadworks that are taking place along this route. There's more roadworks on the N3 North in the Kelvin area just as you approach the Baklu interchange, causing delays as well. And then if you're heading towards Midrand, delays on the N1 South just as you approach Olifantsfontein Road. I'll have more updates, but if you come across anything else, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like the lady on her way to work, listening to a love song on the radio. She's recreating the music video in her mind with herself as the leading lady. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a concert on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Mzansi, your dreams could take flight when you play Powerball and Powerball Plus this Tuesday for a massive 152 million rand in total estimated jackpots. So play Powerball for an estimated 83 million rand. Powerball Plus will give you 69 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusher, Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
James, congrats on the babies.
Yeah, thanks. It's a wild ride.
You're a new dad, 2 babies, 0 sleep, and 1 car that apparently couldn't cope.
Yeah, the hatchback was my baby, but it just didn't have enough space for my 2 new babies.
And are you happy with the price when you sold to We Buy Cars?
Very. We've even got some extra cash to splurge on one of those fancy prams that you basically need a license for.
Good luck, James. We Buy Cars. Geared for family, geared for you.
Psst. Hey, no longer feeling like the man you used to be?
The man who's the life of the party, even when he doesn't attend.
The fact is, 95% of men with low testosterone go untreated.
Vitamin high-performance supplements for men helps recharge energy, regain lean muscle, and reload performance. Available at all good pharmacies and vitamin.co.za.
Vitamin.
Don't get older. Get better.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Walking the talk, 25 minutes after 6 o'clock. We're asking you a couple of questions this morning. Are you easily distracted when you are watching a movie or even a series? Can you do it in one sitting, or must you always pick up that device and check for the latest things that are happening, say, on social media? We'll tell you why we're asking that question. But of course, what you need to know at this hour is the Department of Correctional Services. It's continuing its National Parole Review. This is their summit at the Kgosi Mampuru Correctional Center in Pretoria. They are trying to create a national platform for dialogue to bring together experts, practitioners, policymakers, and communities to assess the parole system and its current state. With unemployment on the rise, the Johannesburg Metro Police Department has warned the public about a so-called recruitment scam, falsely inviting applicants to a so-called last chance physical assessment at Remsig Athletic Stadium in Roodepoort. The scheme targets people who are hoping to become Metro officers. GMPD spokesperson Xolani Fihla explains that it's a fake message widely circulated on WhatsApp by someone called T. Kuduza, asking applicants to pay a fee to bypass the official recruitment process. They will part with their money, but they will not get that job. Prosecutors in the murder case of the ANC councillor Sindiso Makaka in KZN alleged that the former municipal manager linked to his killing ordered the hit through his cousin. Zwelipanzi Skosana, who was arrested in July by the police's political killings task team, will hear the outcome of his bail application today. You'll remember, of course, we heard from Kwanazi just last week that weapon has been linked to other issues, the weapon that killed Sindiso Makaka. Now listen to this. A new survey has revealed in Britain that the average Brit can only get through one chapter, around 14 minutes of reading, before they lose focus. After 14 minutes of reading a book, they have to put the book down and pick up their phones. When it comes to films and TV shows, the attention spans are only slightly longer, only about 15 minutes. So no, Kanya, you've already admitted you get distracted. What's the longest you can go without picking up your phone?
20 minutes.
Amo?
I'd say 30, maybe 30 minutes.
Social media is seen as the biggest culprit. 43% of respondents blamed distractions, from Instagram to Facebook to X, certainly through to TikTok. And then there are those souls who can only be condemned to eternal fire, who watch television playing games. Right? What are those things called? Those games they play, man.
Yeah.
Give me one of them.
Candy Crush?
There's Candy Crush. There's a newer one. Tetronic or what is it?
I don't know the names of the games, but I do know that there's a lot of mobile games that people play.
Tetris. I think that's what the thing is called. Tetris. Sia is whispering in my ear. Right? Those souls are condemned to eternal fire, I tell you. Dorothy Masuka, the celebrated jazz singer and activist, passed away at the age of 84 at her home, surrounded by her daughters and grandchildren. She's died due to complications from hypertension. She rose to fame in the 1950s, becoming one of the first black female recording artists to achieve stardom across southern and eastern Africa.
702.
The newspapers.
Welcome back, Sfisa Zulu, who never gets distracted when watching television.
I do.
What's the longest you can go?
A minute.
Wow.
I've been trying to watch the series on Amazon for the past 2 weeks, and I just can't finish it.
Go back to your holiday. Ask for more leave days.
Good morning. I just want to start today's newspaper segment by asking a question. Is there a country that you would never visit because of unfolding scary events that you are witnessing in the news that are happening in that country, for instance? because there's a story in USA Today about one Christina Coy, who left America because of gun violence. She's a 38-year-old woman, and she was born in the Netherlands, and her parents moved to the US when she was 10. And then she decided to leave the US in 2017 because of the ongoing school shootings there. And she says she can't raise her children in that kind of environment. She does visit the US in Ohio, where her parents are based, every year, but then she doesn't stay there for long because of the risks they are associated with the gun violence in the US.
Listen, I'd be reluctant to visit the US right now.
Yeah.
I'm obviously not going to Israel, Ukraine, Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, those are obvious places, I guess.
Yeah.
But particularly the temperature and the mood in the US would make it very difficult to visit at the moment. I'm looking at the front page of the Sowetan. They've got a picture of the DA Federal Chair Helen Zille during an interview with the Sowetan, and they're talking about Zille's Joburg shake-up plan. The Citizens front page, can the ANC take Zille on? And the Business Day, SA chrome black market is thriving. More than 10% of chrome ore is being mined illegally. This is according to the Glencore Alloys CEO.
EWN Business.
Gino Ginelli Chocolate Italiano. That's my favorite ice cream. That's the question Nokanya Mdambo is asking. And it's not something I can readily find. If anybody knows where I can get it, it comes in those nice tubs, those red tubs. And I used to love it back in the day, and I've just stopped looking for it because I can never find it whenever I go to the shops. What prompts the question?
So, Bongani, Unilever's Magnum Ice Cream business plans to use Chilean startup Notco's artificial intelligence to reformulate products and create new ones. Magnum plans to use Notco's AI to look at the calories in ice cream, make new plant-based products, and manage rising commodity costs. Companies are turning to technology to find replacements for synthetic dyes, reducing sugar, and finding the next viral flavor like Dubai chocolate, mac and cheese ice cream, a sweet potato flavored croissant, beer flavored, wasabi, lobster, chili. The list goes on. Magnum, which is set to publicly list in November, also includes the Ben & Jerry's and Cornetto ice cream brands. It's one of more than a dozen consumer good companies working with Notco to overhaul their products.
Wasabi ice cream.
Yep.
Sweet potato ice cream.
You'd be amazed.
Guys, mac and cheese ice cream.
Yeah.
This is madness.
I can't get over blueberry. How much more any of these?
No, come on. This is madness. What's the method here?
It turns out there may be a method to the madness, Bongani. Over the last couple of years, major food makers have used AI to try more quickly to respond to changing consumer tastes, to better respond to surging inflation in raw ingredients like cocoa. These sort of innovation is especially important at the moment, particularly because the company is preparing to de-merge from Unilever, splitting from that company to become a standalone company. That 8 billion euro business has about 21% market share, but is looking to get a little more.
Since we ask AI everything now, including what we like in our ice cream, what does AI have to say about the rand?
Maybe not AI in this instance, but the rand standing at 17.35 to the dollar, 20.48 to the euro, 23.43 to the pound. Gold is trading at $3,745 an ounce. Platinum at $1,410. The price of Brent crude at $66.11. More business after 7.
That, my friends, is the difference between artificial and real intelligence. Let's go straight to the news desk. We start in Gauteng, Swiss Zulu. Good morning.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The government says that, or has reiterated its stance of opposing the practice of using emergency safe drop-offs for abandoned babies. This follows the recent incident of a critically ill toddler who was allegedly denied help by the Edenvale Child Welfare after they were dropped off by their mother at the Tree of Hope baby box. The Social Development Department's Yvonne Dionarian says it is concerned about how the 20-month-old's case was handled by the NPO.
Baby Nandi's case is a point in reference. It is an alarming and gravely concerning way Baby Nandi's case was managed. Baby Nandi had pre-existing medical conditions that I am not a medical practitioner to determine the severity or the extent of the medical condition on Baby Nandi. But Baby Nandi was dropped into a baby box.
The Gauteng Education Department says it has resolved the matter of defogging of empty classrooms during the COVID-19 period, which cost the provincial government 430 million rand. Between June and August 2020, about 200 companies were awarded inflated multi-million rand contracts for decontamination, fogging, disinfection and deep cleaning services. The Auditor General flagged these transactions as material irregularities which happens in cases where there's breaches of non-compliance of procurement processes leading to a financial loss for the entity. During a media statement that was released yesterday, Gauteng Education Department spokesperson Steve Mabona said that the auditor's remedial actions have been implemented and compliance restored.
You will recall that we had a irregularity when coming to the cleaning and decontamination of schools. That has been resolved. And we also have an inadequate food handling audit result, which also we have resolved. Both cases we can indicate that have been resolved.
Correctional Services Minister Pieter Groenewald has confirmed that an inmate who was illegally released from a Western Cape prison has been re-arrested. Thembaletu Daba walked out of the Polsmoor remand detention facility 2 weeks ago while allegedly impersonating another inmate. This is the second such incident involving inmates at that facility. Earlier this year, sentenced inmate Xolani Dupree was arrested in Tableview after vanishing from Polsmoor after 9 months while being transported to court for a new charge. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
Correctional Services Minister Pieter Groenewald says he's launched a probe to get to the bottom of these escape incidents. He says heads will roll should there be any wrongdoing discovered.
I can assure that there will be drastic consequence management, and I will receive a final report on the whole matter within the next 2 days, and then steps will be taken.
Groenewald says he hopes there won't be a repeat of these escape incidents. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News in Cape Town.
And US comedian Jimmy Kimmel will return to his late-night talk show today after he was suspended for making jokes related to the death of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. Disney, which owns the US broadcast network that airs Jimmy Kimmel Live, says that it suspended the show because it felt some of the comments were ill-timed and insensitive. The comic's abrupt suspension came after threats by the federal TV regulator to revoke ABC's broadcast license, sparking nationwide debates over free speech in the US. US President Donald Trump has welcomed Kimmel's suspension and at the time suggested that some TV networks should have their licenses taken away for negative coverage of the president. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 11 and 14 degrees, peaking at highs between 30 and 32.
And in the traffic, we've got a major accident seen in a Midrand. In fact, a truck, it's on its side along the N1 North, right near Olifantsfontein off-ramp. It's causing delays coming out of Islandale Road. The N1 South is also backed up as a result towards Olifantsfontein Road, coming out of the Brakfontein interchange. And then, if you are traveling on the N3 South, please be on the lookout for those roadworks that are taking place along the N3 South, right near Modderfontein Road. One lane is actually closed off to traffic along this route, and this delay is causing about a 30-minute hold-up. Please try to avoid if you can.
The top story this hour, the Gauteng Department of Social Development has reiterated its stance of opposing the practice of using emergency safe drop-offs for abandoned babies.
702. Serving the 702 family in 702 land, including those of you in Vereeniging. Vereeniging is situated on the banks of the Vaal River and is one of our most important industrial manufacturing centers in the country. Chief products include iron, steel, bricks, tiles, and lime. Several coal mines in the area supply coal to nearby Eskom power stations. An historic treaty was signed in Vereeniging in 1902, ending the South African War between the Boer republics and the then British Empire. 702. Let's walk the talk across 702 land, including Vereeniging.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9 featuring Hollywood Bets, their brands and communications manager, Devin Heffer. will be in conversation with us. We do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
If you want to know about the heart and art of jazz, look no further than the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival, a grand ensemble of over 50 world-class acts across 4 stages for 3 whole days. That's right, from the 26th, 27th and 28th of September. The Santon Convention Center will be demure and sophisticated as the fine Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2025 takes you deep into the heart, the art and splendor of jazz. Take me there. Book your seat via Ticketmaster now.
Experience extraordinary with the new iPhone 17, 256 gig from Vodacom, Zanzi's winning 5G network. More delightful, more durable, and now available. Get yours on a 3 gig Red Core plan from $899 per month over 36 months, plus a free extended warranty. Be the first to get it today. Available in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Further together. Vodacom.
702. WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongs and the team. This is Linton from Kempton Park. Hey, talking about distractions when you're watching a movie. Just yesterday, my wife was asking me, when last did we watch a movie without being distracted? Like, we've got a 11-year-old and a 6-year-old. When we're watching a movie, we have to concentrate because once the couple start kissing, we have to hold the remote so we can skip. Like we don't enjoy movies like we used to. Yeah, and also the social media, and I'm a social media person. I check my phone every 5 minutes. So yeah, I'm like Nokokanya. Thank you guys. Nice show. Bye-bye.
Hi, Bongs. It's Alfred here from Johannesburg, my brother. Nice show as always. You know what? I don't think it's very easily to just watch all episodes without being interrupted by something else. Like you said, for example, that devices and sort of stuff. This is a, I don't know what can I call it. Like people always doesn't even drive 10 minutes without checking their phones. I think it's a bad habit that we adopt from nowhere, you know. Like people in the restaurant, they can't even take their time eating their foods without even checking their cell phones. I don't know where this habit comes from, but I mean, that's the way the nature of life goes. I don't know if it's natural or it's our adoption of life, whatever you can call it, but it's not healthy. Thanks, brother.
Morning, Bongani. A mini Friday is here. Morning, and your team there. Listen, with me when I watch a movie, I concentrate, Baba. It's like I'm at cinema. I paid for it. Every movie for me is very, very important. I don't really like soapies. I'm a movie guy. Because, hey, with soapies now you must wait and see if Jack Mabas will be alive. A couple of days you wait for. No, I just want something that I would watch and it ends, and then I know what had happened. Yeah, man, I'm a movie guy, and I just take the phones away. They don't disturb me. I concentrate, my friend. Yeah, Mahlatsi in Midrand.
Mahlatsi in Midrand, good for you. A new survey has revealed the average Brit can only get through one chapter, around 14 minutes of reading a book before they have to put it down and grab a device. For television, for movies or series, it's a little better, only a minute longer, 15 minutes. How long can you go without picking up your device? Can you watch a movie in one sitting without picking up your phone or device, Cindy Paluta?
No, absolutely not. And it was so funny because just yesterday I was talking to my colleague Tembekile about a movie on Netflix, The Thursday Murder Club. It's got Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, all of them. And I can't remember what scene I was telling him about. And he goes, oh, I also watched that. I said, yeah, it wasn't great, hey? He goes, no, it was nice. I mean, I said, yeah, it was one of those, like it was nice because you could scroll on your phone while you were watching and not miss anything. And he said, yeah, and we agreed. And then I thought, wow, so... So I know that that is a problem.
Yeah.
And if you want to get a fright, go onto your phone and you will find the screen time little section in the
Yes,
settings.
yes.
And if you open that, it'll tell you how much screen time you've used this week, how many times you've picked up your
Yep.
phone, etc., etc. But I know that if I want to concentrate on something that I'm watching in front of me, I pick up my knitting. Because with that, I'm not distracted. I mean,
Right.
it's kind of a rhythmic
And it
thing.
calms you down, right?
But also, it's become we're not so much addicted to our phones. Yes, we are, but it's also the habit of picking it up just to check it,
Yeah.
without even thinking we're grabbing it. So if you keep your hands busy. Then you'll focus on what you're
Because
actually
there isn't
doing.
anything compelling that we're picking it up for in the
But
first
I mean,
place.
back in the day, what were we doing while watching?
Yeah. What? So I have a rule: no phones at the table, at the dinner table.
Us as well.
And if you and I are going out for a meal, my phone is face down until the end of that meal.
It's a tough
Unless
one.
there's
It's
something-
a tough one for moms who go out. Like, we like to go
Yeah.
out together, and then you keep your phone there. I will only check it if it's from a message from my kids or my husband.
Yeah.
And on that, I've gone into the focus section on the phone and set up a setting that only their notifications come through.
EWN Sport.
Well, whatever they were scrolling through in the first two games,
Yeah.
the Pakistani women have come back.
So I'll tell you what happened, and Coach Mashimbi will explain it for himself. But the Proteas women were literally just experimenting because they're playing in the World Cup next week, right? So they're just playing around with what's happening. So yes, it did seem quite crazy that we won the first two ODIs so convincingly and then lost the third ODI to Pakistan yesterday by 6 wickets. 115 all out, but we rested key batters. Brits wasn't playing, Cap wasn't playing. There were quite a few people, and we rested a few bowlers. So according to the coach, the prep to play England next week is on track.
I'm a coach that likes to mix and match, try out things, and I don't believe that it didn't work today. It was just that it happened that we lost the game. There's no concerns there whatsoever because, we also in the pursuit of getting the perfect combinations for this team. We've got a unbelievably talented team. Now it's about just making sure that we tie up all the loose ends and make sure that we get the best combination.
Proteas coach Shukri Conrad says Quinton de Kock is not guaranteed a spot at next year's T20 World Cup. De Kock has come out of retirement and will play in the upcoming T20s and ODIs with Pakistan.
Quinny's just expressed the desire to play for South Africa again in both white ball formats and however we choose to use him. There's by no means any guarantees with regards to World Cups or anything. We've got a great opportunity to get him playing in this Pakistan series, and then we'll see how this goes. If everything adds up, form, etc., fitness, then he obviously stakes a massive claim to be included in the T20 World Cup.
Before the limited over series, the Proteas play Pakistan in 2 tests. Captain Themba Bavuma misses the whole series through injury. Spinner Simon Harm has been recalled having not played in a test in 2 years. Keshav Maharaj misses the first test, the groin injury. At the Ballon d'Or Awards, France's Ousmane Dembele and Spain's Aitana Bonmati were crowned the best men's and women's player in the world. Men's Coach of the Year went to PSG's Louis Enrique, and Women's Coach of the Year is England national coach Serena Wigman. The Stormers have been dealt a major blow ahead of the start of the URC campaign. Captain Salman Murat's knee injury is worse than first thought. He's now only expected back in December. Stormers host Leinster in the opening game on Friday night. And a nice payout for Christian Horner, who's now formally left Red Bull with a reported R1 billion payout. Horner was in charge at the team since 2005 on a R240 million a year salary until 2030. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
You've reached in his Renault Duster en route to Dullstrom. This journey is taking to try a sport far more boring than its name might suggest. Fly. Fishing. He'll be in his Renault Duster, which he bought with 40,000 rand trade-in assistance.
Leave it all behind in the new Renault Duster with 40,000 Rand trade-in assistance. Offer exclusive to Renault Financial Services. Product of APSA. T's and C's apply.
Did you know the CSIR International Convention Center has over 40 years' experience in hosting international, local and national business events? Located on a tranquil campus on Pretoria East within the Knowledge Hub and Science Diplomacy Capital, the city of Tshwane, this fit-for-purpose convention center is ideal for your association, congress or other business events. For more information, visit csir.co.za. The CSIR International Convention Center, where smart minds meet.
Naked people smell expensive
Because naked people spend less money on insurance premiums and more money on fancy French colognes with names they can't pronounce. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds. And because it's all online, it also costs less. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start smelling like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Good morning, Uncle Bongani and the team. My name is Uzanogutle Pandelani. I'm 12 years old. I go to Saxon Road Primary, and when I grow up, I would like to be a rheumatologist. I am excited to play the Whiz Quiz with you, Uncle Bongani.
We can't wait to play with you too. I'm itching to give away 10,000 Rand.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Take A Lot. Happy delivered. There's a crash on the M1 North. Amo?
Yeah, that's correct, Bongani. It's right near the Gold Reef City area. It's causing heavy traffic volumes towards the Crown turnoff, so please be on the lookout there. And then traveling towards the city of Tshwane in Midrand, you'll be met with another delay. This is due to a truck that is on its side. It's on the N1 North right near Olifantsfontein Road off-ramp. It's causing about a 20-minute hold-up. The N1 South is also backed up as a result. And then if you're traveling on the N3 South, bumper-to-bumper traffic along this route between Marlborough Drive and the Kirulis Interchange, roadworks are causing these delays, and one lane is closed off to traffic, so the one that's open to traffic is causing about a 20-minute hold up. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care. We'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Traffic is trafficking. The robots aren't AI, but more like an eye roll. And service delivery isn't delivering. But luckily, Take A Lot is. Shop anything from beauty and sport to tech and toys at very low prices. And get it delivered to your door faster than you can get home, even when you take the back roads. Delivery so quick, the speed thrills. Halala with no limits. Just open the road of happiness before you. Take A Lot. Happy delivered.
Outsurance will do all they can to save you money on your car insurance premium. But what if they just can't? Well, they'll give you cash just for trying. That's right, just ask for 500 Rand cash. But wait, there's more. If you don't save and have been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years, you can ask for 1,500 Rand cash. Savings or cash, you always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
What does you always get something out mean to you, Lorette?
Outsurance made it possible for us to live our dream to travel more with the money in our pocket that we save.
Let me know, what is it?
725. It was unbelievable. My husband, he sits there on the chair and he's just nodding his head and say, yes, yes, yes. This is really not just an advertisement. This is really real.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
This is your business. Hooray! This is your business supercharged with the help of zero accounting software. Hooray! This is your business supercharged with the help of Zero, finding you have more time to focus on things you love and not endless admin. Supercharge your business today.
Search Zero with an X. Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Let's give away some cash, shall we? 10,000 Rand up for grabs. Up next, of course, we speak to presidential spokesperson Mr. Vincent Magwenya on UN reform. Zanokuhle is 12 years old, goes to Saxon World Primary. Are you ready to play?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are, is the confident answer. KG, start the clock. Spell the word profile.
Profile.
Correct. Does the word elated mean ill or delighted? Delighted. True or false? Argentina is the second largest country in South America.
True.
Correct. What do gas plants absorb from the atmosphere for photosynthesis?
Oxygen.
Carbon dioxide. What's the longest river in the world?
Skip.
The Nile. True or false? The American flag is also called the Star-Spangled Banner.
False.
It's true. In maths, what is 10 times 15?
False.
150. Which Disney film features the song Let It Go?
Frozen.
Correct. Does South Africa lie in the Southern or Atlantic Ocean? Atlantic Ocean would have been the correct answer there. Zanokuhle walks away with 300 Rand.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Up next, 3,000 Rand up for grabs in the next hour. What's the question? Send us an answer based on something you heard on the show. WhatsApp it to 072 702 1702. Later, 2,000 Rand will go to the person who can ask a question to get to your answer. SMS out to 45142 now to save on your car insurance.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
Time now to have a conversation about the United Nations. It was designed as an international family of nations, equality and sovereignty meant to be at the center of how countries deal with each other. But that hasn't turned out to be the case, and our president is calling for reform. Vincent Magwenya, his spokesperson, joins us now on the line. You've all jetted off to New York for this important United Nations General Assembly meeting. If I go back to 1948 and I think of the draft of the UN Charter that was meant to create this organization, as I said in my introduction, the principle of sovereign equality of all nations was at the center of it. That's not quite what we have today. Some are more equal than others.
Well, indeed, good morning, Bongani, and good morning to your listeners. As the UN marks 8 years of the adoption of the UN Charter, as you've alluded, the world finds itself confronted with massive geopolitical tensions. There's more fragmentation in terms of the international world order. And we've seen global powers seeking more and more to act unilaterally instead of acting in accordance with multilateral principles. And so it is a challenging time for the family of nations. And it is for this reason that the president is making the call for the reforms of the UN, including the global financial architecture, as well as the United Nations Security Council, which seems to be more of an impediment now with respect to issues of peace, with respect to security, as well as other key issues that are confronting the globe.
The post-World War II order was set up by its victors, and essentially now we're asking them to give up their privileged position. They're not going to do it.
Well, it is a concern that you have the P5 or the permanent 5 members making decisions for almost 85% of the world, majority of which is in the global south. It is for this reason that the UN must be reformed. Of concern is reluctance of various nations with respect to fulfilling their obligations to the UN. The reality, though, Bongani, is that the world needs more cooperation amongst nations more than ever.
The challenge is, though, and one of the questions I want to ask you is, does the Global South in particular still need this organization? Because we understand what solidarity and cooperation looks like as those nations who've not been at the center of power all this time. But the powerful countries act with impunity whenever they like. Whether you can take the invasion of Ukraine or the bombing of Iran just this year, that's an illustration that we can't do anything to stop them.
Indeed, it's not so much about doing something to stop them, but it's more about inculcating that culture of cooperation, which the UN Charter seeks to promote and advance. And up until we are able to fulfill that aspiration, we will be confronted by the kind of challenges that we're faced with, whether it's the global north or the global south. Okay. All ends of the world are embroiled in some form of conflict currently.
How would a differently composed, say, Security Council look?
Well, it's not for one country to decide, but essentially we need a framework framework that is a lot more inclusive with respect to decision making. We need a framework that puts at its center the respect and adherence to international law. We can no longer afford to have the kind of violations that you allude to and that we have witnessed in the recent past. And we need a framework that in its inclusivity considers the development aspirations of the entire globe, not just the interest of a few powerful members.
We have to ask if these 80 years have been worth it. The UN cannot prevent genocide and human rights abuses. Often its peacekeeping missions are a disaster, marred by abuses and ineffectiveness. We've seen bureaucratic bloat, financial instability, and if countries like ours dare to stand up to the powerful, we're isolated and even punished. Is it worth it?
Well, Bongani, you and I are beneficiaries of what was an effective UN system in the fight against apartheid.
But how many of those resolutions did the apartheid regime ignore? I'm sorry to come in there. We know that the apartheid regime routinely ignored resolutions. So even as we might be beneficiaries of UN action.
Ultimately, we end our freedom, Bongani. All we can do is to commit and recommit ourselves to a multilateral system that will look after the interest of the entire world. It's something we cannot give up on. Any other alternative is too ghastly to contemplate, where countries can just act unilaterally. We have to keep at it, and we have to continue making calls for these reforms to happen.
I appreciate the idealism. I think we're already there. Vincent Makwenya is President Cyril Ramaphosa's spokesperson. He's at the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA 80. Is it time for reform, or do we need an entirely different organization?
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, prepared to perform whatever the terrain.
Well, Bongani, that major incident on the N1 North is still causing a backlog just as you approach Olifantsfontein Road, but I'll have more details coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. Weekdays on the highway, weekends on the trail, in rain, on tar, or halfway up a gravel pass. With the new Bridgestone Jeweler All-Terrain AT002, you don't have to choose. Bridgestone, prepared to perform whatever the terrain.
702. Coming up, the big interview.
Are judges compromised? We speak to the SCOPA chair, and the Department of Education in Gauteng takes the fight against Operation Dudula.
This is EWN.
The Patriotic Alliance wants Kenny Gunene back in his former position in the city of Joburg, and residents in Mirafong shut the area down over a water crisis. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Patriotic Alliance is threatening to pull out of every coalition it has with the ANC if its Deputy President Kenny Gunene is not reinstated to his job as Johannesburg's Transport MMC within 7 days. Gunene has been cleared of wrongdoing by his party after he was suspended in July for alleged links to controversial businessman Katiso KT Molefe. He resigned from his position as MMC and as a councillor pending an outcome of an internal investigation. PA leader Gauteng McKenzie announced on Facebook last night that Gunene is ready to assume his previous position.
Within 7 days, if Gunene is not back in his position, every PA member in JB Max, every PA coalition with the ANC, you withdraw with immediate effect. Stay 1 day, 1 hour after instruction has gone out, that you must withdraw from every coalition we have with the ANC.
Residents of Kokosi and Forchville in Joburg's West Rand have threatened a total shutdown this morning because of continued water supply issues. Several parts of Mirafong local municipality have been without water for almost 3 weeks now. The crisis was sparked by the municipality's 1.4 billion rand debt to Rand Water, which has resulted to 40% cuts in supply in some areas. Tandoluhle Ngobo takes a look.
The community water crisis in the Merafong region has reached boiling point, with residents in Kokosi, Joburg's West Rand, reportedly damaging infrastructure to access water. This comes as frustrations mount over what local leaders are calling a man-made disaster. The Greater Forgeville Water Crisis Committee says boreholes are being drilled by private citizens and long queues form at points where water is available. At the same time, many households are reportedly paying their water bills. This has led to the accusations that the water crisis is being used for political ends, with communities being punished despite compliance. Today, the residents have threatened a total shutdown of schools, public transport, and no working until their water woes are addressed. Tanduluhle Ngobo, Eyewitness News.
The National Police Commissioner has revealed that 34 officers have been arrested and charged for various roles they played in cases of political killings. Fani Masimula kicked off his testimony at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry yesterday. Much of Masimula's testimony was centered around the KZN Political Killings Task Team, where he explained that the instruction by Police Minister Senzo Mchunu to disband the unit was unlawful. Oren Singh reports.
Brief evidence of how many cops were involved in cases of political killings were shared on screens during yesterday's sitting of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Fani Masimola emphasized his support for the Political Killings Task Team, who he claims are unmatched in the work they do and the most successful task team in the country.
It must be highlighted that 34 SAPS members were arrested and charged on various related charges, including being involved in the killings or defeating the cause of justice on political related cases.
During his testimony on Friday, KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhunazi alluded to this regarding the murder of former ANC Youth League Secretary General.
Firearm that was used and the vehicle that was used in the murder of Sineso Magatra are the resources that came from CAM intelligence.
Masimola will continue and conclude his testimony this morning. Aaron Singh, Eyewitness News.
And dozens of world leaders have embraced a Palestinian state during a gathering at the United Nations. They've described this as a landmark diplomatic shift nearly 2 years into the Gaza war. Israel bombs Gaza almost daily and has vowed that Palestinians will never get their own state. More than 1,000 people died when Palestinian armed group Hamas led attacks on Israel in October 2023, and more than 200 people were taken hostage. And since then, Israel has killed more than 65,000 people in Gaza and displaced most of its population, while also restricting access to food, medicine, and other essential supplies. President Cyril Ramaphosa also addressed a two-state conference hosted by France and Saudi Arabia.
We call, firstly, for global recognition of Palestine and its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Secondly, the immediate ceasefire and an end to the genocide and the release of hostages by Hamas and prisoners by Israel.
Meanwhile, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says there should be no feeling of intimidation due to a risk of retaliation.
Statehood for the Palestinians is a right, not a reward. And denying statehood would be a gift to extremists everywhere. Without two states, there will be no peace in the Middle East, and radicalism will spread around the world.
Gold is trading at $3,746.59 an ounce. The rand is at 17.35 to the dollar, 23.45 to the pound, 20.48 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $66.36 a barrel.
And there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N3 South between the Baklu interchange and the Kilulis interchange due to a major accident scene, as well as roadworks taking place along this route. As a result, several roads within the Kelvin as well as Greenside areas are heavily backed up, like Motorfontein Road towards the N3, as well as Marlborough Drive towards the N3 and Vincent Chabalala Road. So please be on the lookout there.
And in your sport, the Proteas women lose the third ODI but still beat Pakistan 2-1 in the series and are confident going into next week's World Cup. Quinton de Kock has come out of retirement but is not guaranteed a spot in the Proteas T20 World Cup team next year. And the Ballon d'Or Men's and Women's Awards won by France's Ousmane Dembele and Spain's Aitana Bonmati.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 30 and 32 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: the Patriotic Alliance is threatening to pull out of every coalition it has with the ANC if its Deputy President Kenny is not reinstated to his job as Johannesburg's Transport MMC within 7 days.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
10 minutes after 7 o'clock. What do you believe about people, about any person or any organization? Do you believe their words or do you look at their actions? I'll tell you what I look for. I look for words that match the actions. We've been watching now for the last few weeks, particularly Western countries falling over each other, rushing to recognize the idea of Palestinian statehood. I said yesterday you need 3 things to have a state. That's what all the experts say around statecraft. You need a territory, a place, a physical space that you can point to and say, that is our state. That's where our state will be. You need a population, a people to populate that state. And most importantly, you need a government to run that state. What are they recognizing? Just think about it. They're all saying we recognize the Palestinian state. What are they recognizing? Where? Gaza? The ruins? The Israelis are a lot more clear about why this is a joke. They have said Gaza, or at least the Palestinians, will not have their state. And haven't they backed their statements with actions? Whilst the rest of the international community gathers together and says all these flowery things that have done nothing, if not make things worse for the people of Gaza.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Patriotic Alliance resorting to really nothing else but thuggery now. They're threatening to pull out of every coalition they have with the ANC if Kenny Kunene, their deputy president, is not reinstated as Johannesburg's Transport MMC within 7 days. Of course, I think the ANC should call their bluff as far as this is concerned. Do you reckon Gayton McKenzie will no longer want to be minister? Come on, in 7 days? Let's see.
702. Up next,
the big interview.
So we've been watching the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry unfold over the last 4 or 5 days or so. And I want you to contrast 2 pieces of testimony. One is from the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who wrapped up, of course, his testimony on Friday. And the other is from the National Police Commissioner, who spoke to the Commission just yesterday. At issue was, what do you do as a police official, as a commissioner, either nationally or provincially, when you are expected to follow orders from a minister that are unlawful? I want you now to listen to the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masimula, telling the Madlanga Commission yesterday that he would refuse any unlawful instruction that interfered with police operations, even if it hurt his career. But of course, we know that's not what happened.
If the minister were to give you an instruction that strays onto operational or managerial matters, would you, General Masemula, say to the minister, I am not going to obey that?
Yeah, it depends, Commissioner, but yes, I will. It's a matter that is career limiting, but
it depends on what?
It depends on how he does it.
It's simple. It's simple. You have said operational and managerial matters are within your remit and not the minister's.
Yes.
So I am saying categorically to you that in what I posit to you, the instruction would be falling outside of the minister's remit and be straying onto operational and managerial matters. It's that clear.
Yeah, no.
Would you, General Masemula, tell the minister, I am not going to obey that?
Yeah, no, I will tell him that I won't do it. But as I said, it depends.
So this is Justice Madlanga pressing Fani Masemola on whether or not he would follow unlawful instructions, as he suggests the disbanding of the political killings task team was. Now, earlier last week, Mkhwanazi faced the same conundrum, he says, in 2011, and he reacted entirely differently.
Inspector General, remember I said, commissioners, is the one who have an oversight role within the 6 Rand Fund account. So what she says to me in black and white, I must believe it because she's the one who's responsible for monitoring news according to the rules set out within the intelligence space. So before I left with her to the house, I told the minister that I'm done acting. If you think me being the acting national commissioner, I must now bow down to the wrong illegal instructions that you're giving me. His words was, I didn't appoint you, it's the president that appointed you. So I told the president, I'll go and meet with him, but I'm done acting.
There you go. Mkhwanazi didn't say it depends on how it. He said, if you ask me to do something unlawful, I'm gone. And I was. Our current top cop says, Wele.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m. EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Delays on the N1 North. Amo?
Yeah, that's correct, Bongani. Due to that truck that fell on its side near Olifantsfontein Road, as a result, about a 20-minute hold-up coming out of Annandale Road. Please be on the lookout there. Olifantsfontein Road in itself, it's backed up towards the N1, and then the southerly direction of this route backed up coming out of the Braakfontein interchange. As a result, I'll speak about other incidents coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
20 years ago, you were driving to the venue where you exchanged your vows, didn't you? 20 years ago, the Outsurance pointsmen were already on the roads easing traffic congestion. So whether you've been an Outsurance client or not, we've all been getting something out. Show the Outsurance pointsmen some love this month as they celebrate 20 years. Hashtag pointsmen love. Whether you're in Joburg, Tshwane, Paarl, or Stellenbosch, let's celebrate. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
17 after 7. Now, when you think of the Road Accident Fund, you'll probably picture it really as a safety net for accident victims. But right now, it looks increasingly more like a leaking bucket of taxpayers' money. For years, the RAF has been mired in accusations of mismanagement and dodgy payments. Scopa is probing allegations of not only outright corruption involving lawyers, but even judges. It's an extremely concerning situation, and that's why we invited the chair of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, Songezo Zibi, to join us. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Songezo, it's one thing when you hear about lawyers being corrupt, but judges?
Well, judges are lawyers. Good morning, Bongani.
Sure.
And thanks very much for having me on. No, it's a serious matter, and the reason we decided to investigate is that there was a lot coming from the Road Accident Fund, specifically from its former chief executive, Collins Leswaro, about corrupt judges. So in my letter requesting information, which amounts to hundreds of documents from the Road Accident Fund, we asked for any evidence they have. We asked for case numbers. We asked for the cases themselves, the name of the case number, the court in which the case was held, why the Road Accident Fund believes that the judge colluded with counsel, and for them to send us any correspondence between themselves and the Office of the Chief Justice or the Secretariat of the Judicial Service Commission complaining about the said judges. It's taken me weeks, Bongani, I have to say. So far, I have found two documents in the trove sent to us by the Road Accident Fund. None of them amount to what we asked for. So today I am writing back to them for them to be specific, because the allegations were quite serious.
It's easy to throw mud hoping it'll stick. Is it that the information they have was unsatisfactory, or might it be that it's not there?
I don't know, Bongani. For now, I will assume that maybe they didn't understand the inquiry, but we're sending them a letter seeking clarification that what they've sent to us is all they have, because we did ask, and the amounts of money involved. In other words, what was the award against the road accident fund in terms of the claim that was then paid, and some substantiation of why they believe there was collusion between the lawyers for the plaintiff and the judge concerned. Yeah, unfortunately, as I said, in the documents that I've looked through, I haven't seen in that section. I've only found two letters. One to Judge Francis Legodi and the other to the former Chief Justice, but none of them are about the allegations made.
What will happen if those allegations can't be substantiated?
Well, we are going to call everyone who was running the road accident fund, including the former Chief Executive Officer, to come and account. The committee obviously would be very concerned about this level of allegation, because the judiciary is important. And if these claims were made without any evidence at all, then we would expect that the Parliament must recommend the appropriate sanction. I can't say at this stage, because I don't want to prejudge the issue.
Well, because there is such a thing as lying to Parliament. We'll keep an eye on this, and I appreciate your time for quickly coming in to tell us. That is, of course, the chair of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, SCOPA, Songa Zozibi, probing serious allegations that have come from the Road Accident Fund, not only about corrupt lawyers, but corrupt judges. And yes, we know how judges become judges.
You've reached in his Renault Duster en route to Dullstrom. This journey is taking to try a sport far more boring than its name might suggest. Fly. Fishing. He'll be in his Renault Duster, which he bought with 40,000 Rand trade-in assistance.
Leave it all behind in the new Renault Duster with 40,000 Rand trade-in assistance. Offer exclusive to Renault Financial Services. Product of ABSA. T's and C's apply.
Traffic is trafficking. The robots aren't AI, but more like an eye roll, and service delivery isn't delivering. But luckily, Takealot is. Shop anything from beauty and sport to tech and toys at everyday low prices, and get it delivered to your door faster than you can get home, even when you take the back roads. A delivery so quick, the speed, thrills, halala with no limits. Just open the road of happiness before you. Takealot. Happy delivered.
Dreaming of a tropical escape? World Leisure Holidays has your ticket to paradise with exclusive getaways to the Indian Ocean Islands. From the beaches of Mauritius and the Maldives to the charm of Madagascar, Seychelles, Zanzibar, and more, your dream destination awaits. Take advantage of early bird specials and pay stay offers. Call 011-285-2500 and mention 702 for a mystery discount. Or follow us on social media or contact your nearest travel professional. Start planning your escape today. T's and C's apply.
702 and corporates that care with Tracker are talking about Tracker's partnership with Matthew, an initiative helping South Africa's future leaders succeed in maths and science.
We have been part of this incredible country for the last 29 years. South Africa has helped us grow into the organization that we are and has helped us be part of the economy of this country. So fundamentally, we now have to give back. We have to make sure that not just for the last 29 years, but for the future 29 years, we're participating in that conversation. Secondly, Bongani, Tracker is growing exponentially at the moment. We're employing at all levels within the organization, from top to bottom in essence. So what we're actually looking for as part of that growth fundamental is to make sure that we have the right people coming into the organization. We can either be part of the solution, or we can be part of the problem, or do nothing.
Tracker, protecting futures by investing in STEM education. Visit matthew.co.za to learn more. 702, let's walk the talk.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
Not our kids, not our schools, say Operation Dudula. The vigilante group has been targeting foreign nationals at public health facilities, and they've now turned their attention to Gauteng's schools. And they're saying if the child is either undocumented themselves or their parents are not, they shouldn't be in those classrooms. The Gauteng Education Department has responded to this. We are joined now by Gauteng Education MEC, Matume Tilwane. MEC, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Just give me the context at what you have seen and how much or how many of our schools have been targeted by Operation Dudula. Good morning.
Good morning, Mohamed. Good morning to your listeners. So far, they've not gone to many schools. Last check was around 4 or 5 or so schools that they've been to around Soweto. So there's not, and also there was no disruptions at all. So there was no disruption from Dudula yesterday.
Are you concerned?
Of course, we are. We should be, because remember, we don't want any form of disruption in our schools. Already we're dealing with quite a number of challenges that of disruptions ranging from service delivery in the main and to a number of other issues that are affecting the community and sometimes obviously the learner community. So we don't want any form of disruption at all. But we're not worried about their concern that they will be stopping schools, because the Bella Act does empower us as well at the same time to act on those who disrupt teaching and learning.
All right. Do you want to just make clear then on what basis children are admitted to public schools? What do they need to satisfy to be allowed to be pupils?
Remember, first of all, there was a court order that spoke to undocumented learners. However, what we do firstly in our public schools, the first learners that we admit is those with proper documentation that is required. So schools will automatically deal with learners who parents fully comply with the ID, residential address, all the information. We start with those learners first before we deal with the undocumented learners, and that's how it's always been done. However, I just have to add, the court order that was led by the Department of Education in the Eastern Cape. The court order that we, by law, are forced to accept learners that are undocumented as long as they are of school going age. But in terms of the process administratively, schools start with those that comply first before they deal with the other learners who don't have documentation.
The Center for Child Law and Others versus the Minister of Basic and Education and Others cases, what I presume you are referring to. Can migrant children be prevented from enrolling in public schools?
No, they can't be prevented.
Operation Dudula, as far as I know, have said this is one of the areas they are going to be working on to prevent exactly that. What's the plan to deal with it if it escalates?
What I heard of them, what they said yesterday was that they are going to seek to prioritize, to check if South African learners are being accepted in schools, because now there is this perception that South African kids are shutted out of schools and undocumented or foreign or children of foreign origin are preferred, and which I want to dispute here. That is not true. It's not true at all. Actually,
okay, hold on. In terms of the rules, if I understand it, you look at the home address, right, within the school feeding zone. You look at siblings already enrolled at that school, the work address within the school's feeder zone, all of those things. I mean, if a migrant child meets that criteria first above the child of a South African who may perhaps live outside of the feeder area, who gets preference?
Okay. When we started this discussion, we spoke firstly about undocumented learners, and now how the system we work on the system. I said to you, those that are undocumented, it means the applications will not be complete. So incomplete applications are not considered at all now, particularly with those that have completed. Now we get to the second question and say the South African child who has completed and this one has completed. The criteria remains. If you listen to me when I do this interview, I always start with the first beside the placement criteria of home address, feeder zone, and sibling and previous school, etc.
Yeah.
I also said the documentation that we need. I always start with the South African ID because it's important that South African ID is one that will firstly determine the process of compliance, and then we look at other documentation.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Understood. That makes sense. So all those with completed documents essentially are first in line, and you'll consider those that do not based on what available spaces there may be after you have processed those with all the required documents. Appreciate that clarification. That's the Gauteng Education MEC, Matume Chelwane.
EWN Business.
Well, Nokanya Mdambo, new employment equity targets are facing resistance, this time from Business Unity South Africa.
That's right, Bongani. Good morning again. Business Unity South Africa is the latest business group to head to court to challenge recently published regulations that dictate the race, gender and disability composition of companies employing more than 50 people. BUSA has applied to the Johannesburg Labour Court to review and set aside numerical employment targets for 18 economic sectors under the Employment Equity Amendment Act, which became law in January. The business group says the targets gazetted in April are irrational. BUSA CEO Khulekani Mathe says proper processes were in fact not followed. Labour expert Khalibowe Modesapodi was on the Money Show with Stephen Grootes last night. This is what he had to say.
There's a degree of uncertainty about what the target set actually means sectorally. And I think that's one of the issues. And the question then is, how exactly is it put before court for proper ventilation as argument to then address the issues?
Goodness me, where's the rand?
The rand Bongani trading at 17.35 to the dollar at this hour, still flat. 20.47 to the euro, 23.42 to the pound. Gold is trading at $3,746 an ounce. Prices rising overnight as investors flock to the precious metal following last week's U.S. interest rate cut and the Federal Reserve's signaling of potential further easing in monetary policy. For the same reason, shares in South Africa's biggest gold mining company started the week firm. Not all at the top of the list, but in the mix of the winners, Harmony, Sibanye, DRD Gold, Goldfields, all clocking between 3% and 9% in share prices. Platinum at $1,415, the price of Brent crude at $66.11. More business coming up after 8.
Straight to the news desk we go. More unhappy Johannesburg residents, Sfiso Zulu.
That's right, Bongani. This is in Forshville, where roads have been blocked with rocks and burning tires by residents who are protesting over water cuts on Johannesburg's West Rand. They say households have been without supply for more than a month, and today's protest is to call for the city of Johannesburg to quickly respond to the crisis. The issue was sparked by the Mirafol municipality's 1.4 billion rand debt to Rand Water, which has resulted to 40% cuts in bulk water supply in some of the areas. The Forshville Water Crisis Committee says Joburg Mayor Dada Morero admitted during a recent meeting that the municipality had signed an agreement with the entity, but it has since failed to honor it. The committee's Mkolisi Biko.
We have then engaged the Premier's office. Through the Premier's office, because of the intergovernmental working relationship with their own municipalities, they had invited Mirafol municipality to our meeting. The executive mayor put it purely in that meeting that they've signed an agreement with Rand Water that they were not able to honor.
The Gauteng Education Department says all children have a right to an education in South Africa, regardless of whether they are documented or not. Yesterday, Operation Dudula members went to different schools in Soweto, dropping off memorandums demanding that foreign undocumented children not be enrolled. Thabiso Goba was there.
In 2019, the Constitutional Court handed down a ruling which stated all children in South Africa have a right to education, regardless of their immigration or documentation status. Gauteng Education spokesperson Steve Mabona had a tense standoff with Operation Dudula members as he explained the implications of this ruling.
There's a court judgment which said to us, a child must be in a class, whether documented or undocumented. And it's upon us then as a department to make sure that we work very closely with all the affected parties, be it parents.
However, Operation Dudula's president Zandile Dabula was not accepting the explanation.
Why is the department not fighting back? Because it's your responsibility as a department to fight back. Because you guys are promoting illegality.
The Education Department has warned Operation Dudula against disrupting schools, saying it will call the police on them. Thabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
A non-profit organization has clarified that it does not oppose the criminalization of the abandonment of a child. The remarks by Baby Saver South Africa comes amid court disputes with the Gauteng Department of Social Development, which had deemed the practice of baby saving boxes to be illegal. The department says one of the reasons baby saving boxes should be discontinued is that they promote the abandonment of children. Authorities add that this practice also robs the child of their constitutional right to have a name, culture, family and identity. Ndozo Kumalo takes a look.
Baby Saver South Africa's representative Nicola Rose says their mandate is to provide a safe place for the children who are abandoned by their parents for a range of reasons.
Abandonment is an issue that we all need to take seriously, whether we're members of South African society or the legal fraternity or the childcare sector. We need to take it seriously, and it's never been our client's position that abandonment needs to be scrapped.
She adds that what they want is to create a clear distinction of what the safe and unsafe relinquishment of a child is. Ndogozo Kumalo, Eyewitness News.
And former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has been charged with crimes against humanity by the International Criminal Court. The 80-year-old is accused of being criminally responsible for dozens of murders that allegedly took place as part of his so-called war on drugs, during which thousands of small-time drug dealers, users and others were killed without trial. The ICC's charge sheet, which includes several redactions, dates from July but was only made public yesterday. The ICC's deputy prosecutor says that Duterte was an indirect co-perpetrator in the killings, which the court alleges were carried out by others, including the police. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, with isolated showers expected today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 30 and 32.
And in the traffic, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N3, both directions between the Baklu interchange and Morafontein Road due to an accident, as well as roadworks taking place between these 2 points. Please be on the lookout and expect about a 40-minute delay. Traveling in Midrand, we've got major delays on the N1 North. This is between Allendale Road and Olifantsfontein Road due to an accident.
The top story this hour: roads in Forchville have been blocked with rocks and burning tires by residents who are protesting over water cuts on Johannesburg's West Rand.
Save more on the brands you love at Dis-Chem. Stay fresh and confident all day with 2+1 cheapest free on any 150ml Shield deodorants and 50ml roll-ons. And treat your hair with our fantastic 2+1 cheapest free on any Tresemme hair care products. Plus, enjoy 2+1 cheapest free on any Lifebuoy products. T's and C's apply. Don't miss out. Offers valid until 19 October. Only at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
Zanzi, your dreams could take flight when you play Powerball and Powerball Plus this Tuesday for a massive 152 million rand in total estimated jackpots. Play Powerball for an estimated 83 million and Powerball Plus for an estimated 69 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
What was known as the Swimming Pool Road in Everton West due to severe waterlogging is now a safely engineered road. When the National Department of Transport called on SANRAL for help, we showed up, upgrading it to the highest standards of safety and quality. Today, the community of Mfuleni local municipality have an access road that they can rely on and be proud of. SANRAL, an agency of the Department of Transport.
702 and Corporates That Care with Netcare are talking about Netcare's My Walk Made with Soul initiative.
This was an initiative that began in 2015, and a lady by the name of Delani Bezadenhout visited us and said, look, I hear Netcare is very involved in sustainability initiatives. Would you be interested in recycling your intravenous drip bags because they're made of a toxic material called PVC? And in passing, she said to me, you know, possibly we could also make shoes. My appeal is that we've handed out 328,000 pairs of shoes. And so my appeal is for South Africans to get together and come onto our website, mywalk.org.za, and donate the cost of a cappuccino. Maybe you can donate 10 shoes.
Netcare, helping future leaders step into greatness. Visit mywalk.org.za to learn more. 702. Let's walk the talk.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Bongani, you asked this gentleman a simple question. Do you give first preference to South African children or to migrant children first? He's diddly-daddling around the question. He's not answering it properly. He wants to give you technical answers to say technically this is what is supposed to happen. What is supposed to happen and what happens is not the same thing. Can he answer the question properly?
Hi, good morning, Bong. You know, Operation Dudula made a good point yesterday. Government's accepting kids not having any documentation. They're saying that these kids must be, also deserves to be registered in schools. But if you pick up a child not being documented, not having a birth certificate, that means the possibility is very high that that child could be a victim of child trafficking. How can you prove that that's the actual parents of the child? This is a very worrying situation.
Good morning, Bongani and the 702 listeners. This is Leon from Tembisa. Bongani, I don't agree with you when you say Operation Dudula is a vigilantism group or whatsoever. You know, in South Africa, if you want something, if you want services, if you want anything, you have to go to the extreme. That is the politics of South Africa, even during the apartheid years. When we fight for freedom, we went to the extreme, banned everything. So the ANC has taken the path of the National Party. When people want anything, they have to go to the extreme to achieve whatever they want. So it's not vigilantism, it's the South African politics. People have to live with it. Thank you, goodbye.
Mark from Johannesburg. These Dudula thugs must just be arrested and taken away. Now they're at schools, there's children, they're putting things at risk. We must actually just put our foot down. If they show up, drag them away. I think we often are too soft on criminal elements like this, and it is a criminal element. They're not allowed to be doing that, and they don't have a right to do it. So don't afford them that. Slap them in jail and put them in the back of a truck and get them away so that they know that they just can't get away with these kind of things. These are kids, and I think it's horrendous. Thanks.
Yeah, the law is very clear, which is what the MEC referred to. The particular case, which is that Centre for Child Law and Others versus the Minister of Basic Education, compels South African schools to accept children even if they are the children of migrants. So from a technical point of view, the specific requirements are when you apply for your child to attend a public school, they look at whether the home address, where the child lives, how close is it to the feeder school? That's the first thing they look at. They'll consider things like, does the child already have a sibling enrolled at that school, or did they have a sibling previously attend that particular school? That will matter. If the parents work near the feeder school, that'll help. And is that home address within 30 kilometers of the radius of the school, and whether that home address is then beyond 30 kilometers. So, for example, if you live 60 kilometers away from the school, you've still got a better chance than the kid who lives 120 kilometers away from the school. That's the thinking. So what the MEC is saying is we ask parents to submit all documents. Now, presumably, if you are a South African and you've got your identity documents and you've got the birth certificates of the child and the inoculations and whatever it is they may request, if those are all through, presumably then you're first in line. I think that's what he was trying to explain. Now, if you happen to be the child of an undocumented migrant who may not have all those documents, by the time they come to you, because on a technicality, you don't have all your documents, by the time they come to you, South African children would have been placed first, because for the simple reason that they provided all their documents ahead of it. What I was curious about was what happens in terms of things like distance. So if the migrant lives 500 meters next to the school and you live 45 kilometers away, but you're the South African child, who gets first placement? His argument is, as long as the applicant submits all the documents first, that's who we choose. I hope that clarifies it. Now, as far as vigilantism is concerned, you can call it the extreme if you want, but if you're breaking the law and you're taking it into your own hands, that is the very definition of vigilantism.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. So first we'll give away 1,000 Rand for an answer and then 2,000 Rand when we get the question. SMS out to 45142 now and you could save on your car insurance. So let's get the answer from, is it Victor in Kempton Park? Victor, what's the answer?
Hi, Bongani. The answer is 14 minutes.
14 minutes, Victor. Now, concentrate, Victor. Concentrate. Tell me, do you have a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. Your biscuit, 1,000 Rand is coming your way. All thanks to Outsurance and 702. Thank you, Victor. The answer is 14 minutes. What's the question? Give us a call if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
It's 7:45. Cindy Paluta, one of the ways in which you know an era is either ending or has is when you see the top awards in a particular sport or trophies, as it may be, go to newer or different players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it's somebody's era,
You're so right.
you know the 2 or 3 that are always in contention.
You're so
And
right.
when you see new names, you know, oh my gosh, that
This is
era
it.
has
This is it.
ended.
Yeah. And I mean, I know because it wasn't Ronaldo or Messi last night, right?
Oh, Mbappe.
At the Ballon d'Or Awards, it was France's Ousmane Dembele and Spain's Aitana Bonmati that were crowned the best men's and women's players in the world. Men's Coach of the Year went to PSG's Louis Enrique, and Women's Coach of the Year is England national coach Serena Wigman. In the draw for the Carling Knockout Cup selected fixtures, Sundowns will play Galanza, Kone got Arrows, Kaiser Chiefs have been drawn to play Stellenbosch. Chiefs apparently still in conversation with coach Nasruddin Nabi, who according to everyone else has left the club. Chiefs keeper Brandon Peterson on the Stargo.
At the end of the day, this is the nature of football, you know. Coaches come and coaches go, players come, players go. You can't dwell too much on that. Obviously, it's not nice to lose a coach. At the end of the day, we have a job at hand, you know. We have fixtures to look forward to. We can't dwell on what's been happening. You know, for us, is to stay focused. You know, we have a goal in mind, and it's for us to go and perform to the best of our ability every game, every opportunity we get.
Orlando Pirates got drawn to play Siwelele, which is actually tonight's early Premiership clash as well. That's at 7:30. Will Bongani be wearing his Pirates jersey to work tomorrow? Remains to be seen. Proteas women lost to Pakistan by 6 wickets in the third ODI, but still won the series 2-1 with key batters rested. Proteas were 115 all out and watched Pakistan cruise the win with 20 overs to spare. Coach Mandla Mashembi.
Obviously today would suggest that we struggled against Spain, but in the first 2 games you wouldn't say the same. I just feel like today we just didn't switch on when we needed to, but it's something that we worked on. We just have to make sure that they're brave enough to take on whatever's in front of them, whatever conditions we find, because we believe that we're prepared for everything that might come our way.
Proteas women open their World Cup campaign against England next week Friday. Proteas men take on Pakistan next month. Markran captains the team and Harmers recalled as Bavum and Maharaja injured. Stubbs and Rickleton are rested. De Kock has come out of retirement and is available for the limited overs games. Coach Shukri Conrad explains why Lungi Ngidi was not selected.
It was also horses for courses. Then he played at Lords, you know. And I know there was a big outcry around his selection. And definitely horses for courses. We don't think he'll be as effective in Pakistan, hence our not including him.
And the Stormers won't have captain Salman Murat until December. His knee injury is worse than first thought. The Stormers open their URC campaign on Friday night against Leinster. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Calling all wedding planners and venues, restaurants, conference centers, and hotels. Do you need tables and chairs? Home in One has it all. Do you need cutlery, crockery, table linen, and restaurant equipment? Home in One has it all. Do you need tents, gazebos, or umbrellas? Home in One has it all. Affordable prices, the latest trends, with 2 branches in Pretoria and Johannesburg. Shop online at homein1.co.za because we're your #1 choice. Home in One has it all.
Corporates that care promote and encourage corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9 featuring Hollywood Bets. Their brands and communications manager, Devon Heffer, will be in conversation with us, and we do this on Wednesday to highlight the efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. Let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Hola Mzansi, Dr. Kumalu here. The first official Bafana Bafana game is now live at 10bet. With Bafana Megaways from 10bet, everyone can play for Bafana Bafana. Join now at 10bet.co.za.
10bet is a licensed betting operator and supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 shall be permitted to bet. Betting can be addictive. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. License number 921096661.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the new Opel Grandland. With smart tech and striking design, it's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. 10 to 8. Amma, what are you seeing?
Bumper-to-bumper traffic, Bongani, on the N1 North between now the Baklu interchange and Olifantsfontein Road due to that earlier accident that is causing about a 30-minute hold-up. If you are traveling in the southerly direction of this route, do expect delays coming out of the Brakfontein interchange. If you're traveling on the N3, both directions, bumper-to-bumper traffic, about a 30-minute hold-up between the 2 points, Modderfontein Road and the Baklu interchange due to roadworks, as well as an accident reported there earlier. There's more delays on the Mike 1 North between Boyson's Road and Carr Street. This is due to peak time pressure. Please be on the lookout there and continue driving with care. And if you come across anything else on the roads, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Great entrance? Forget that. Make a grand entrance.
Grand!
Be late, make everyone wait, and be grateful they did. Peeps be rubbernecking, staring gormlessly like deer in your 50,000 intelligent LED headlights.
Grand!
Make a grand entrance in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Achtung, baby.
Grand!
It's even got massage seats.
Uber grand!
Visit opel.co.za for more.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is 14 minutes, let's go to Isaac on the line. Isaac, what's the question?
Morning, Bongos. Today's question is, how long does the average Brit read for before grabbing the device?
You know what I mean? We used to say books were unputdownable. That's all changed, right? Isaac, do you concentrate well? How long can you last before picking up the phone, whether you're reading or watching something?
Yeah, I have an average concentration span of about an hour or so.
A whole hour?
Yeah.
Look at you. How about 2,000 Rand, hey, for all your concentration?
I'll take it. Thank you, Bong.
2,000 Rand in cash coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. It's really fascinating, this study that has revealed that Britons can only read for 14 minutes straight without picking a device to look at their phones or computers or tablets or whatever the case may be, and mostly for social media, not even for work-related stuff. For television, watching series or movies, it's marginally higher, 15 minutes. How long can you last is the question. Now, imagine saving on car insurance. Now imagine getting 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you don't save. That's right. Outsurance can't beat your car insurance premium. they'll give you 500 Rand cash. They'll make it 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. So savings or cash, you always get something out. Get a quick and easy quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. A licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's and information online.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Tata Morero, when were you expecting to construct this new pipeline, the one that's been constructed this morning by Joburg Water? I mean, did it have to take the residents to protest for 2 weeks?
There's no project that has to start as a result of the protest. In 2025, this year in June, we set aside in our budget 800 million that we're investing in the area. Also building a reservoir there, which will be concluded and handed over end of October.
Clement Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
The South African Future Trust Summit, in partnership with Standard Bank, is fast approaching. It's a premium entrepreneurial showcase returning to the Sandton Convention Centre on the 5th and 6th of November, with international and local speakers sharing groundbreaking insights from their entrepreneurial journeys. With over 2,000 delegates and over 200 exhibitors all under one roof, you can experience the extraordinary world of thriving entrepreneurs and business owners. Get your ticket now for 1,800 Rand each for the 2 days at summit.southafricanfuturetrust.org in partnership with 702.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for plumbers, electricians, and other tradesmen. Pumlani.
Switching to Outrage was one of the best decisions that we've ever made. We needed business cover, over 15 million. Outrage came forth for us. At Kani, we sleep better at night, knowing that we always get something out of Outrage.
Switch to Business Outsurance, and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Bella.
I'm already laughing because I can so relate to our first video. Mom loses patience because the little bundle of joy has done what?
Oh, he has a drinking bottle that he takes to school every day. And he'll come back some days and, oh, Mommy, I don't know what I did with the bottle. And this happened 9 times. So he's lost 9 water bottles. So the mother decides, you know what? I'm not spending more money and just buying bottles, and he's taking no responsibility. As they're walking out the house, about to get in the car, she hands him a Ziploc bag with some water in it. So you can imagine what the bag looks like. You know, if you walk home from a pet store and you've got a fish in a plastic bag, that's what she gives him. And his facial expressions, he's totally confused. He looks at it and he's like, what must I do with this? Well, off he went to school. Luckily, he didn't lose the plastic bag, but I think he learned a good lesson.
It's the bane of my existence.
Let's ask our 702 family. Yeah, you said you could relate.
Oh, it's the bane of my existence.
Your daughter used to lose her thing.
With younger kids, the funny thing is I got these 2 really lovely Tupperware school bottles that I hid from them years ago because they were going to lose them at school. Now they're sitting in a cupboard. And it's kind of too late to give it back to them. But I can fully relate to this one. And maybe let's ask, what is the most commonly lost item by your kids at school? What's that one thing they lose? I can't tell you the number of teaspoons we have lost because they would steal them to take their yogurt to school, and the teaspoons would never come back. So that's my number one pet bug. If you're a parent,
that was yours, teaspoon.
What have your kids lost most frequently?
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got delays on the N1 North. This is due to an accident right near Olifantsfontein Road. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South between Allendale Road and the Baklu interchange. While traveling on the N3, bumper-to-bumper traffic both directions between the Baklu interchange and Modderfontein Road due to roadworks as well as an accident. I'll have more details coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Explore the wonders of Mpumalanga. Discover the ultimate wildlife experience that brings you closer to nature. Get your adrenaline rush with endless adventure activities. Explore breathtaking 4x4 routes or hike the Blyde River Canyon, the third largest in the world. Unwind with spectacular landscapes and majestic waterfalls. This message brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Visit mpumalanga.com for more.
702
Feedback
with Siamtanda Matiso.
What did you lose most often at school, Siamtanda?
My goodness, Bongs, where do I start? Socks, calculator is another thing.
Jerseys.
But one thing that I always safeguarded was a blazer. I knew that every Wednesday at our school, we were not allowed to go to assembly if you didn't have a blazer. And they would even call your parents. It was also expensive. So there was one thing I always made sure that I will never lose when I was at school.
We had this playground opposite our school. This is back MTAT, St. Joseph's. Anybody who remembers that back in the day. And you would play on those swings after school.
Yeah.
And it didn't belong to the school. It was a public park, if you will. And I can't tell you how many jerseys I left Kojingi after school.
And you had to go to the lost and found and take someone else's jersey?
No. I had to go find Smacky Sam.
Ooh.
To smack my bottom.
Speaking about schools, Bongs, many reacting to Operations Dudula. Some in support, they are citing overcrowding as a result of illegal immigration, but some are saying, listen, this is going too far. The government needs to intervene, or else what we're going to be dealing with is xenophobic violence, and that's not what we want. We don't want to take charge when things are too late. Others also reacting to your questions on, are you a person who's able to concentrate when watching a movie or a series?
You?
I struggle, Bongs. I struggle watching now. I'm like most listeners. I like thrive in watching like short clips, whether it's in YouTube or like a series that's like 30 minutes. When it's a movie, I'm always on my phone. So I'm taking advice from some of the listeners. I'm going to take my phone now. I'm going to charge
Put it somewhere else.
Put it somewhere else. But some are also setting an example to their kids. They just don't put on their phones.
You know what you could do?
Yeah.
You could take your phone and marry it to your TV. And then you can watch
that's even
social
worse.
media on your TV.
Then I'm not watching.
There's a
That's
trick.
bad.
There's a trick. It's 8 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Parts of the West Rand at a standstill due to water protests, and Parliament is confident the fight against gender-based violence will now gain momentum. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Roads in Forchville have been blocked with rocks and burning tyres by residents who are protesting over water cuts on Johannesburg's West Rand. They say households have been without supply for more than a month, and today's protest is to call for the city of Johannesburg to quickly respond to the crisis. The issue was sparked by the Mirafong municipality's 1.4 billion rand debt to Rand Water, which has resulted to 40% cuts in bulk water supply in some areas. The Forchville Water Crisis Committee says Joburg Mayor Dada Morero admitted during a recent meeting that the municipality has signed an agreement with the entity, but it has since failed to honour it. The committee is in Xolisi Biko.
We have then engaged the Premier's office. Through the Premier's office, because of the intergovernmental working relationship with their own municipalities, they had invited Mirafong municipality to our meeting. The executive mayor put it purely in that meeting that they've signed an agreement with Rand Water that they were not able to honor.
Following a stinging rebuke from President Cyril Ramaphosa to Parliament over the failure to have established the National Gender-Based Violence Council, the positions are now set to be advertised. House Chairperson Cedric Frolick has told political parties he considers the matter a priority and has given the Portfolio Committee an instruction to act swiftly. The council, to be set up under an Act of Parliament, which Ramaphosa signed into law almost a year ago, is meant to provide strategic leadership to prevent and respond to gender-based violence and femicide. Lindsay Dentlinger takes a look.
Answering questions in the National Assembly 2 weeks ago, President Cyril Ramaphosa said MPs could not pin the blame on him for the delays in setting up the National GBV Council, and if it were up to him, the appointments would already have been made. The Committee of Women and Youth have been grappling with this matter for several months over budget concerns and whether further tweaks are needed to the legislation. But after the President slammed Parliament for the delays, House Chairperson Cedric Frolick has now cracked the whip.
We are not going to go into amendments and to consider any other matter. Is that they must proceed to move towards the advertisement shortlisting and come with report to the National Assembly so that it can be sent to the President.
Frolick says any amendments to the Establishing Act can be considered at a later stage. The GBV Council is to comprise 13 members, of which at least 7 should represent civil society, and 80% of them must be women. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The National Police Commissioner has revealed that 34 officers have been arrested and charged for various roles they played in cases of political killings. Fani Masimula kicked off his testimony at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry yesterday. Much of Masimula's testimony was centered around the KZN Political Killings Task Team, where he explained that the instruction by Police Minister Senzo Mchunu to disband the unit was unlawful. Oren Singh reports.
Brief evidence of how many cops were involved in cases of political killings were shared on screens during yesterday's sitting of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Fani Masimula emphasized his support for the Political Killings Task Team, who he claims are unmatched in the work they do and the most successful task team in the country.
It must be highlighted that 34 SAPS members were arrested and charged on various related charges, including being involved in the killings or defeating the cause of justice on political related cases.
During his testimony on Friday, KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhunazi alluded to this regarding the murder of former ANC Youth League Secretary General.
Firearm that was used and the vehicle that was used in the murder of Siniso Magatra are the resources that came from crime intelligence.
Masimolo will continue and conclude his testimony this morning. Aaron Singh, Eyewitness News.
And Brazil's chief prosecutor has charged the son of the country's former president Jair Bolsonaro with coercion. The Attorney General's office has alleged Eduardo Bolsonaro of repeatedly acting to subject the interests of the republic to personal and family agendas, including threats of sanctions from foreign governments. The congressman called these charges bogus in a post on social media X, saying it was absurd to accuse him of obstruction of justice. The latest move comes weeks after the former president, who governed Brazil from 2019 to 2022, was sentenced to 27 years in jail after he was found guilty of plotting a coup. Gold is trading at $3,755.28 an ounce. The rand is at 17.35 to the dollar, 23.45 to the pound, 20.48 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $66.21 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy traffic volumes along the N3, both directions. This is between Morfontein Road and the Baklu interchange. That's due to an accident as well as roadworks taking place along this route. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South between Allendale Road and the Baklu interchange, and that's due to an accident as well.
And in your sport, France's Ousmane Dembele and Spain's Aitana Bonmati named Ballon d'Or's Men's and Women's Player of the Year. Kaizer Chiefs players keep moving forward despite no clarity on coach Nasruddin Nabi's position. And despite a 6-wicket loss, the Proteas women coach Mashimbi says they're on track ahead of next week's World Cup.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 30 and 32 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: roads in Forcheville have been blocked with rocks and burning tyres by residents who are protesting over water cuts on Johannesburg's West Rand.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 8 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast. Looking at the story developing in the West Rand. Residents in Fochville burning tires, blocking the road with rocks. They've been without water, they say, for more than a month. And so what do they have to do? Because clearly they've tried to reach the city of Johannesburg. Clearly, for them, Dada Morero's promises have not led to any result. They've got a crisis committee, a water crisis committee, and they say the mayor has in fact been to address them at a recent meeting. He even signed an agreement, but nothing has happened. So as we have seen elsewhere in Johannesburg, elsewhere in the country, they're taking to the streets. Maybe then the mayor might actually deliver on his promises. Or maybe he won't. Maybe he'll just show up again like he did at Coronationville and make empty promises that he will not be able to fulfill. You may remember we spoke to Dr. Ferial Adam, who explained to us that the reservoir, I think it's Hurstel, is cracked. Even if they had all the water in the world and the heavens opened, torrential rains, they still wouldn't be able to fill it with the amount of water required because it's cracked. It's leaking. Iyavuza. Hey? Iyavuza.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
I mentioned earlier that we've seen efforts by the MK party, really Jacob Zuma, to try and prevent the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry from conducting its work. But as we've listened now to two key witnesses, firstly, the KZN Police Commissioner, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who started all of this, and now his boss, the National Commissioner, who's going to continue his testimony today, General Fanny Masemola. What picture is beginning to emerge? Both of them have told us of very worrying developments in law enforcement. Both of them have said they tried to reach out to the president. So it's beginning to me to feel as if by the time Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has his press briefing or even approaches Parliament in March, the president certainly knew what was going on. But if the National Police Commissioner and a provincial police commissioner feel as if you as the president were not acting on very serious concerns about how law enforcement operates in your country, doesn't that suggest a lackluster president, unable or uninterested in intervening to clear threats against the state and law enforcement and the rule of law? Isn't that worrying? So if I had any advice, and, heaven forbid, I should think to know more than Umsholozi or Ubaba, but if I had any advice for him, I would say, leave this president alone.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Hey Bongani, I totally relate on teaspoons. I'm literally left with 4 forks, guys. Noodles is the problem. The kids love noodles, and each and every time they take noodles, be it to school or after school, I'm gonna find a fork under the couch, or a fork is gonna go to school and never come back. So I've decided I'm not buying forks anymore. I even told them, I'm like, guys, look, there's 3 of us in the house and there's like 4 forks left. Yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to take a fork and go hide it in my room. That's where I'm at. Tlantla in Pretoria.
Where do I start, Bongani? Lunch boxes, lunchbox lids, water bottles, lunchbox bags, jerseys, pants, PE shorts, 1 school shoe, the list goes on. And I've got 3 kids, so yay for me.
Hi, Bongani and 702. Socks. Socks are the most lost thing in my house. My son either comes back with 1 sock, or if we are lucky, he will come back with 2. But then the 1 sock will be his friend because it's labeled with the friend's name, and the other is his. So I don't know what happens in that sports locker room where they change, but it's just a mess.
Good morning, Bongles. Talking about teaspoons. I'm an e-hailing driver. So in the morning around my area, I take a few kids to school. You would be surprised at the collection of teaspoons and containers where they eat their soft porridge in the morning. I've got quite a collection of them here in my car, in my boot, hoping that they're going to call me to say, I want my teaspoon, I want my container. Yeah, you know, your Tupperware. I've got a collection of that. Tulani in Soweto.
Love it, Tulani and Soweto. Firstly, why are you allowing them to eat porridge in your car? The Virgo in me is having all sorts of, palpitations, if you will, around just that. But that's a great one. Teaspoons, what is that item that is most frequently lost in your home? I hadn't considered the forks. See, again, my mind is so organized. I need all the things in their sets, in the sets in which they came. But I had to give up on the teaspoons and go buy, those 40 in a pack teaspoons, those that are easily bendable and breakable. Those are the teaspoons we have in our home, and still even they go missing. I have noticed I don't have as many forks as spoons. You know the things that really, really last, that never seem to disappear? Are the butter knives. Aye, sweetie, your knives are there for life. You're not going to lose those. Boxes, lunch boxes, jerseys, school bottles, socks go missing. I'm now at the point where I go to Pep stores and I buy a pack of 5. And see how long they last.
Oh, see how long they last.
Yeah,
and then until they left with one pair.
Because anything else is really just ambition.
I don't know what they do with the socks. The socks are always an issue. As well as with the lunch tins, the lid will be lost. And you'll be left with the container. For this or that, maybe they're playing sport on the day, they have PT or whatever.
Or running on the grass.
Or they're running on the grass, or they're feeling, my son would feel very hot, and often when he gets out of his school transport, his shoes are either off, or his tie, or his jersey. But in my house, it's the jersey. The last time he lost it, I said, go to your classroom, because you say you left your jersey in the class, isn't it? As he said, yes. I said, go to your classroom. When you find any jersey, bring it back home. Guess what? He bought his jersey.
He found it.
He found it.
In the classroom.
In the classroom.
See, the other thing, Kanya, you'll be the first parent to tell your child not to run around on the playground with their white socks on.
Yeah.
Because obviously that will discolor them.
Yeah.
So they take them off.
Oh, no.
And then they go missing.
Play with your shoes on, no?
No, because then the shoes get opened at the front, and that's a problem.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
Good morning, Bongani. Good morning, 702. I know a school in Enadale called Spectrum. They are selling places to learners who don't have proper documentation from other countries. I know this for a fact. I've seen it and I know it. Just because the principal is getting paid on the numbers of learners, this thing must also change. That is why they are bringing on these learners who don't qualify to get education here in South Africa. I'd like to remain anonymous.
Good morning, Bongani and 702 listeners. Bongani, South Africa is a very, very nice country. You can come here illegal, then you can qualify for everything while you are illegal. I like South Africa. People must keep on voting for this ANC. Thank you, Bongani. Have a nice show.
Good morning, Bongani. Hope you're well. Bongani, I respect you. I respect your opinion. I hold your opinion in high regard. But in this case, I really agree with the gentleman that sent a voice note saying that you need to be extreme in South Africa to get any attention or to change anything. That's how it works in South Africa.
So here's the thing. I actually do agree with that. I do agree that, that's what we are seeing at the top of the hour. What were you told? There's a protest on the West Rand because people say they've been without water for over a month. The mayor has gone to address them, made all sorts of promises. Nothing has come to fruition. So what do people do? They block the roads with massive rocks. They burn tires. They sing and they shout and they dance, and only then do people get attention. So yes, I understand, and I agree. You often have to go to extreme measures. You often have to go to extreme measures to have your voice heard in South Africa. I don't know if that's KG going to an extreme measure there.
Absolutely, he's trying to get heard.
Right? But if those extreme measures lead you to breaking the law and or taking the law into your own hands, that is the definition of vigilantism. Why can't people then own their criminality? Right? If you're going to break the law or take it into your own hands, own it. Admit that's what you are, because that's what you're doing. And anonymous, there's no one who doesn't qualify for education in South Africa. And you've just got to think about people who make these arguments against school children. Why is it that we are not concerned about the politicians who lead us, who are not building enough schools, who are not employing enough teachers, who are not paying those teachers enough money? Do you remember when they found R500 million to spray empty schools because they thought those schools would have COVID, even though the kids were sitting at home? Surely that is actually your fight. The Constitution does not allow you to decide Nokanya's kid isn't from here and may not go to school. That's what the law of the land says. But there you are worried about Nokanya's kid, and you forget the fat cat politician who's been stealing your money that would have made sure there were enough schools for everyone who is here in South Africa and enough teachers to pay them well. As I say, many a time, to the degree that Operation Dudula's anger may even be remotely justified, it's being aimed at the wrong people.
EWN Traffic.
19 after 8, this Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo?
Well, Bongani, the N3 South, N3 North remains a parking lot really between the Baklu interchange and Morafontein Road. That's due to those roadworks that are taking place along this route. So if you're heading towards the airport, please try to avoid the N3. Rather use the R21 South through areas like Tembisa as well as Kempton Park. While traveling on the N12 as well as the R24 West, delays between Edenville Road and the Gidulis interchange. On the M1 North, we've got an accident reported right near Greyston Drive. It's causing delays coming out of Corlett Drive. Please be on the lookout there. And while traveling on the N1 North in the Naturina area, some delays approaching the Golden Highway, and that's due to an accident along this route. Please be on the lookout there. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
If you want to save on your car insurance premium, you call Outsurance, right? But what if you don't save? Well, they'll give you cash just for trying. You heard right. Just ask for 500 Rand cash. But wait, there's more. If you don't save and have been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years, you can ask them for 1,500 Rand cash. Savings or cash, you always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
On the Midday Report, every day from 12 to 1 p.m, we will bring you breaking news from the scene as it unfolds with newsmakers, reporters, commentators, experts and analysts. We'll explain the stories of the day, give you context for why they are important and what they mean for you. It is everything you need to know in 1 hour, from news to global events, business, sports, science, books, and always some good news too. Appointment listening, every day at 12 with the Midday Report.
The Midday Report
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
The Music and Lifestyle Expo 2025 comes alive on 14 and 15 November at the Sandton Convention Centre. This year's Diversity of the Arts theme celebrates trade, music, fashion, food and lifestyle in a vibrant 2-day experience. Enjoy music from Jonathan Butler, Lira, Thandiswa Mazwai, Ringo, Luandungulu, The Muffins, Ndushezi and the Major League DJs. Tickets at ticketpro.co.za. Proudly endorsed by the G20 Summit, the Music and Lifestyle Expo 2025.
Dis-Chem has the best deals just for you, with everything you need on your healthy living journey. Get 20% off the A. Vogel Molkesan range for a healthy digestive system. Buy any 3 Slow-Mag products and get the cheapest free for relief from muscle cramps, fatigue and stress. And get 2+1 cheapest free on any Turbovite supplements to boost physical and mental performance. Offers valid until 19 October at Dis-Chem, your healthy living destination. Better health starts here.
Insurance pulls you in. Pineapple pulls you under. Insurance. Pineapple. Insurance. Pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
Let's catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam, let's start in the Philippines. Extreme weather conditions there. What's going on? A super typhoon?
Yeah, a super typhoon, which by its name will tell you it's more powerful than just a typhoon. Category 5 hurricane is the parallel. They don't do hurricanes, they do typhoons in the Asian neck of the woods. So Typhoon Ragasa has got winds of 230 kilometers an hour, a storm surge of about 3 meters. Therefore, low-lying areas are particularly under threat, and it has now basically brushed through the northern islands, the northern bits of the Philippines, and it's heading on towards Guangdong province in China, the sort of dangly bit at the bottom of China, and then on towards Vietnam and possibly even Laos inland. It is weakening, but oh my word, they're using words like potentially catastrophic, a high risk of threat to life, and they're certainly very worried about landslides and building damage and what could happen. Even the Filipino capital, Manila, was under siege from this storm at one stage. In fact, people were evacuating from all sorts of forest areas and trail areas, and government offices shut down. So a really big deal that's not to be taken lightly.
Sorry, Adam, I just lost my concentration there for a bit.
As we all are, indeed. Now, pay attention, although, as Boggs is proving, it might be difficult, because there's a survey that tells us the average Brit, and there's no reason to think it would be the average anyone anyway, the average Brit zones out after reading or watching TV after a quarter of an hour, 15 minutes, and we're done. There's no reason to think this is different anywhere else. We lose focus after an average 12 minutes of work meetings or calls or Zooms. I'm on a Zoom right now. The time is against me. Similar in a social setting, after all. In a family do, they say, blow out the candles. We might all have switched off because we do 11 to 12 minutes in those settings. Now, there are various things to blame. Obviously, people blame other people, loud people, street noise, tiredness, low blood sugar levels. It was ever thus. But in particular, people say the constant mobile phone notifications are diverting and distracting. And our own attention spans have shifted because of all the Googling and doom scrolling and flip we do with remote controls and mobile devices and iPads and you name it. So apparently the impact of this is we just can't concentrate anymore. Max 10 minutes, by the way, for a podcast or a world view from London. I've probably lost you already. I think I've lost you.
Yeah, I'm busy on my phone looking for the lost elk, Adam.
Emil, the lost elk. Well, found now, but he was for the last 3 months, so the entire Northern Hemisphere summer, Emil had wandered off from a huge herd in Poland and had crossed the border into the Czech Republic and then kept going. And he went across roads and swam streams. Eventually, he swam rivers, including the River Danube. He also moved around into Slovakia and then into Austria. So he did a 4-country tour of Central Europe, essentially, did Emil. And he got rather close to a couple of festivals, including a heavy metal music festival at one stage in Moravia. And there's a thought that, there's nothing like an elk rocking out to a bit of heavy metal. But ultimately, he just got a bit close to a motorway in Austria. And the authorities thought, you know what? We don't want to lose Emil. He has gained a huge following the past 3 months. 3 Facebook groups are dedicated to his plight. So they resettled him in a forest in Austria with around 50 other elk/moose in another part of the world. Would you change your Polish herd for your Austrian herd? I mean, I imagine there might be some language difficulties, but good luck to Emil.
And this is why we can't concentrate, because we're busy in those Facebook groups looking for Emil. That's Adam Gilchrist. That's Adam Gilchrist with this morning's World View.
EWN Business.
27 minutes after 8, let's wrap up the morning's business news. Gosh, Nokanya Mdambo, we're not shopping quite as much.
Doesn't look like it, Bongani. So the local retailer confidence has dipped below its long-term average for the first time in a year. This is despite relatively stable profitability in the sector and positive signs of growth among new vehicle dealers. According to the latest Bureau for Economic Research, a retail survey, the business confidence among retailers fell to 32% in the third quarter of the year from 42% in quarter two. Bongani, it's just interesting to note that we, of course, come off a high base from last year when there was positive sentiment about the government of national unity. Interest rates coming down about 125 basis points since September, including the cut back in July, a stronger rand and payouts from the two-part system. But even with these, the economy is still not growing at the preferred rate. The growth prospects have been revised now by the Reserve Bank to 1.2% from 0.9%, but still very far from that ambitious 3% goal.
I wonder if it's because we're becoming a buy now, pay later culture, and does that raise any concerns?
It certainly does raise concerns. Microfinance South Africa is warning that without proper regulation and cooperation, buy now, pay later services could drive higher levels of consumer debt. The body represents microfinance organizations that are registered in the country. It's raising concern, Bongani, about potential consumer over-indebtedness due to the ease of borrowing, lack of transparency and inadequate regulatory oversight. BNPL service providers usually offer short-term interest-free payment plans that encourage higher spending. Speaking to Stephen Grotes on the Money Show yesterday, CEO of Microfinance South Africa, Leonie van Pletzen, says the unrecorded debt exposure to the consumer is concerning.
So we are not calling for the restriction on innovation. I think how we can also assist these players and protect the consumer is through an industry code. Just to say, this is the areas where we want to protect the consumers. This is the areas where we want to sue credit bureau submissions and also affordability. I also don't believe in over-regulation. Maybe some changes to the National Credit Act should take place, but that's not going to happen overnight.
And the markets?
Bongani, the rand trading at 17.35 to the dollar, 20.47 to the euro, 23.43 to the pound. Gold is trading at $3,752 an ounce, platinum at $1,413. The price of Brent crude at $66.12. That's all we have. More with business updates on the Money Show with Stephen Grotes at 6 p.m.
Time now for your latest eyewitness news. Straight to the news desk we go. Sfiso Zulu. And don't forget, coming up, a chance to win a pair of tickets to go to the Joy of Jazz. Sfiso.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Non-profit coalition of organizations, Baby Savers South Africa, is calling on the Gauteng Department of Social Development to honour the High Court's order which allows the NPO to use emergency safe drop-off facilities for abandoned children. The NPO and the department have been locked in a legal battle following the department's directive in 2023 that the practice of baby saving boxes is illegal. Ntokozo Khumalo reports.
Last year in August, the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria ruled that baby saving boxes are legal pending the finalization of the non-profit organization's constitutional challenge. The NPOs were informed by the Gauteng Department of Social Development in 2023 that they should halt all baby saving box practices as it is illegal. The department's Director for Children's Services, Yvonne Dion Narian, explains that they only raised their issues in 2023 due to a rise in concerns about the lack of regulations.
So baby savers is not regulated by any piece of legislation. They do not have trained social workers.
Meanwhile, the NPO's legal representative, Nicola Rose, noted that they do not understand why the department is apprehensive about the practice.
There's been a campaign of fear-mongering by the department to organizations that form part of the child protection ecosystem, to the extent that a lot of entities feel petrified to act when a baby is relinquished through a baby saver box.
Ndogozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
The Gauteng Education Department says all children have a right to an education in South Africa, regardless of whether they are documented or not. Yesterday, Operation Dudula members went to various schools in Soweto, dropping off memorandums demanding that the foreign undocumented children must not be enrolled. Tabiso Goba reports.
In 2019, the Constitutional Court handed down a ruling which stated all children in South Africa have a right to education regardless of their immigration or documentation status. Gauteng Education spokesperson Steve Mabona had a tense standoff with Operation Dudula members as he explained the implications of this ruling.
There's a court judgment which said to us a child must be in a class, whether documented or undocumented. And we it's upon us then as a department to make sure that we work very closely with all the affected parties, be it the parents.
However, Operation Dudula's president Zandile Dabula was not accepting the explanation.
Why is the department not fighting back? Because it's your responsibility as a department to fight back. Because you guys are promoting illegality.
The Education Department has warned Operation Dudula against disrupting schools, saying it will call the police on them. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
Correctional Services Minister Peter Groenewald has confirmed that an inmate who was illegally released from a Western Cape prison has been rearrested. Tembaletu Daba walked out of the Polsmo remand detention facility 2 weeks ago while allegedly impersonating another inmate. This is the second such incident involving inmates at that facility. Earlier this year, sentenced inmate Xolani Dupree was arrested or rearrested in Tableview after vanishing from Polsmo for 9 months while being transported to court for another new charge. Ntutuzelonena reports.
Correctional Services Minister Peter Groenewald says he's launched a probe to get to the bottom of these escape incidents. He says heads will roll should there be any wrongdoing discovered.
I can assure that there will be drastic consequence management, and I will receive a final report on the whole matter within the next 2 days, and then steps will be taken.
Groenewald says he hopes there won't be a repeat of these escape incidents. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News in Cape Town.
And a mother in New Zealand has been found guilty of killing her 2 children and stashing their bodies in suitcases in a high-profile case that drew international attention. Hoi King Lee, a New Zealand citizen originally from South Korea, was extradited from Seoul in 2022 after the remains of her children were discovered in suitcases left at a storage unit in South Auckland. Yuna Jo and Mooney Jo were 8 and 6 years old at the time of their murders, and they had been dead for 3 to 4 years before their bodies were found. The mother's lawyers had argued she was not guilty because the death of her husband in 2017 sent her into a depressive spiral. A forensic psychiatrist testified for the defense about Lee's mental state, describing depression, suicidal thoughts, guilt, and a belief that she was doing the morally right thing by ending her children's lives. But the prosecution had argued she knew what she was doing, pointing to Lee's attempt to conceal the bodies and fleeing the country as proof. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 30 and 32 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy traffic volumes on the N3 between the Baklu interchange and Modderfontein Road. That's due to a major accident scene as well as roadworks taking place along this route. If you're traveling along this route, please expect about a 40-minute hold up on both directions of this route. While heading towards Sandton, we've got an accident reported on the M1 North near Grayston Drive. Delays from Corlett Drive.
The top story this hour, Baby Saver South Africa is calling on the Social Development Department to honour a court order which allows the NPO to use emergency safe drop-off facilities for abandoned children.
You've reached in his Renault Duster en route to Dullstrom. This journey is taking to try a sport far more boring than its name might suggest. Fly. Fishing. He'll be in his Renault Duster, which he bought with 40,000 rand trade-in assistance.
Leave it all behind in the new Renault Duster with 40,000 rand trade-in assistance. Offer exclusive to Renault Financial Services. Product of ABSA. T's and C's apply.
At the heart of global conversations shaping the future, Africa's voice matters more than ever. As Africa's largest bank by assets and lead sponsor of the B20 Summit, Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships and potential on the world stage. Through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships, Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Life has its own rhythm, but muscle and joint pain may upset the beat.
Noflex Gel.
Trust Noflex Gel's triple action formula to target muscle pain, reduce inflammation, and help numb the affected area.
Noflex Gel.
So, get your beat back and reclaim the rhythm of life.
Noflex Gel.
Beat the pain with Noflex Gel and higher strength Noflex Gel Fort. For more information, speak to your healthcare professional.
Let's grow a greener future. South Africa Deputy Minister Bernice Swartz has launched the 1 Million Trees campaign, My Tree, My Oxygen. Plant yours today. On 24 September, Heritage Day and Arbor Month, every South African is called to plant 1 million trees in one day. This bold action will fight climate change, restore the environment, and build healthier communities. Pledge a tree at dffe.gov.za or call 086 111 2468. The 1 Million Trees campaign. Grow a legacy together.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani. Good morning, 702. A mom that now understands why my mom was mad. Grade 1, when my baby got into grade 1, I bought her a really cute water bottle, a bit on the pricey side from Woolies. First day of school, she lost that. Winter came, I bought her a food warmer, she lost that too. So now I go to Crazy Store. When I was in school, I used to lose one shoe at a time. I lost jerseys, I lost parts of the school uniform. I don't know how they do it, but it's a real skill. So I relate to this mom.
Yo, good morning. This one I can relate to. Every time I would go to school, I would come back with no pencil and no exercise book. I remember this other time, my mom would cut the exercise into half so that every time I lose it, she always has a backup plan. Tebang in Masere Lesotho. Thank you.
Good morning, Bongos. My kids lost jersey and the socks. Yo, that was very painful for me, my brother. And then he also lost the brand new Tupperware that was bought by his mother yesterday. And then, he lost many things. I can't even count them. Many. David from Dennisville.
Morning, Bongani. I think for me in my household, the one thing that always gets lost is hearing. Nobody in my home listens to me until I scream like a demonic monster. Have a good day.
That is the best voice note of the day. We're asking, what is the most frequently lost item in your home? I've mentioned my gripe around teaspoons. That's to do with yogurt, but also the forks. Somebody reminded me that if people have noodles, your forks are going to disappear. You find them under the bed, under the couch, outside by their favorite tree. But the best has to be people losing their hearing. That mom says, because nobody listens until I scream like a monster. Cindy Paluta, what's most frequently lost in your home?
Amo asked me this question. I said, my kids, touch wood, have never lost anything of like massive.
You are so blessed.
And then Amo said to me, you must be a great parent. And I said, no, I'm just a scary one. My kids know the cost of everything in the house. They like know the price of the water bottle. They know that, and I'll always say, go back and find it, etc. Like there's no option here.
Yeah, it gets to a point where, particularly if what has been lost is expensive, we then start calculating what you would have received for pocket money and going out, and that's going to pay for the replacement of that very expensive item you've lost.
But also, when we're buying the very overpriced school uniform, I will tell them, oh my gosh, a tracksuit top is 600 Rand. You dare lose this. And then I'll write the surname across the whole back on the inside of the tracksuit top.
So that nobody could claim it as theirs.
EWN Sport.
All right, let's talk football tonight, Cindy Paluta.
Yes, one game in the Betway Premiership tonight.
And I have a stake in it.
You do. Orlando Pirates travelling to take on Siwalele. That's at 7:30. Those sides were also drawn to face each other in the Carling Knockout Cup. The dates for the tournament not confirmed, but selected other draws see Sundowns playing Galants, Sekhukhune got Arrows, Kaizer Chiefs drawn to play Stellenbosch. At the Ballon d'Or Awards, France's Ousmane Dembele and Spain's Aitana Bonmati were crowned best men's and women's players. Springbok sides play Argentina in the second last game of the Rugby Championship will be named this afternoon. Bok attacking coach Tony Brown says fans shouldn't expect a one-sided game.
Argentina are a different team, pretty good rugby. They've beaten the All Blacks already, they've beaten Australia, so the message to our guys is if we don't prepare as well as we can, we don't pitch up and be as physical and dominant as possible, we're going to be put under pressure. So getting our game right is the massive part for us this week.
So this Saturday's game is in Durban. The United Rugby Championship opens this weekend. The Lions game against Cardiff is Saturday night. The Lions don't have Chris Smith, who was concussed in the Currie Cup final, lost to Griquas. Morne van der Berg also stayed home with a slight niggle. In cricket, the Proteas women losing to Pakistan by 6 wickets in the third ODI, but still won the series 2-1. They've turned their focus to the World Cup with their opening game against England next week, Friday. Coach Mandla Mashimbi.
It's always nice to win a series, but that's not the most important thing for me as a coach. I think seeing players improve and becoming better versions of themselves, that satisfies me even more. Obviously, everything is synonymous to winning, but I think if I see my players improving and actually having an impact into the team's processes and matches, that's what makes me tick as a coach.
And the Proteas men take on Pakistan next month without captain Bavuma, who's injured. Maharaj misses the first test through injury, and Ngidi's been dropped. Stubbs and Rickleton are rested. Harmer's been recalled, and De Kock has come out of retirement for the shorter format of the series. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Every wall tells a story. Now, yours can be told with elegance, resilience, and colours designed to last. A creation rooted in heritage, perfected for today. The wait is over. The finest has arrived. Discover the finest now on promotion from 24 September to 12 October only at Chamberlain. Your space, your colour, our finest paint yet. Chamberlain, famous for hardware since 1903.
Mzansi, your dreams could take flight when you play Powerball and Powerball Plus this Tuesday for a massive 152 million rand in total estimated jackpots. Play Powerball for an estimated 83 million and Powerball Plus for an estimated 69 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda Pusha Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Naked people never skip leg day because naked people spend less time on insurance admin and more time at the gym. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
EWN Traffic.
It's 8:45. Let's wrap up the morning's traffic.
Bongani, it's been such a busy morning, especially if you're using the N3, heavily backed up both directions between the Baklu interchange and Modafontein Road, and that's due to those long-term roadworks that are taking place along the route, as well as an accident that I'm currently seeing right near Modafontein Road, causing about a 40-minute hold-up coming out of the Baklu interchange. So please be on the lookout, drive with care, and try using the R21 South, especially if you're heading towards the OR Tambo Airport and areas like Kempton Park as well as Edenvale. While traveling on the N1 South, some delays between Olifantsfontein Road and the Baklu interchange. This is due to roadworks taking place along this route. There's also queuing traffic on the Mike 1 North between the Crown interchange and Carr Street. More updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
When selling a car, there's nothing worse than a long, frustrating process. We Buy Cars knows life is short and time is precious. Sell your car within a day from wherever you find it convenient. Simply complete the online form at We Buy Cars and they'll make it happen. Need a ride? Explore thousands of vehicles online or in-store. We Buy Cars, South Africa's trusted vehicle partner.
We're gonna make insurance great again. We're gonna build a wall around high premiums. A big wall. The best wall. And guess what? You're not paying for it. We're gonna grab poor service by the policy. It's gonna be tremendous. Believe me.
This message has absolutely nothing to do with the US government. It's paid for by the King of Insurance, who's making insurance great again. Get a quote now. It'll be the best decision, people are saying, ever. King Price is a licensed FSP. No fake news, just lacquer insurance.
Medical care, like music, needs continuity, a steady rhythm and pattern. Patients attended to on time, medication taken as prescribed. Cut the rhythm, and it falls apart. Right now, global funding cuts are restricting access to healthcare. With your support, Doctors Without Borders can continue to provide medical care to communities worldwide. Because medicine, like music, only works when uninterrupted. Doctors Without Borders, we go there.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
Oh man, it's going to be a jam. It's going to be a jive. We're talking about the joy of jazz. Africa's premier jazz festival taking place on the 26th, 27th and 28th of September. This is at the Sandton Convention Center. An exciting lineup of headlining jazz stars. I've got another pair of tickets for Saturday, the 27th of September. Would you like? Would you like? Call us now on 011 8830 702. Answer this very simple question. How many days will the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz, over how many days will the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz be held? Call us now. You could win a pair of tickets to Saturday, the 27th of September. Aye.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Those are the songs Clement Manyatela can't quite dance to, aren't they, KG? Oh, is he there? He can hear me. Oh.
Okay. You're lucky that I'm not in studio, but I'll get you.
Where are you today, Vele?
So, today we are coming to you from Pretoria. We're in Tshwane at the CSIR, at the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. We're here at their International Conference Center because it's the third G20 Research and Innovation Working Group and Research and Innovation Ministerial Meeting. So this is where we are going to see all the G20 member states, guest countries, multilateral organizations and global science partners really come and have conversations about how to advance inclusive science, technology and innovation for sustainable development. So we'll bring some of them as we do the show over the next 3 hours. But between 10 and 11 o'clock, we're going to have a conversation with ICASA chairperson Mutibi Ramusi. There is a lot to talk about. So he's going to be joining us for a conversation around the work of ICASA and, of course, some of what has come out around SpaceX, around the BEE regulations, etc., etc. At 11 o'clock, we do our World of Work feature. Today, we're looking at the fastest growing careers in 2025. We'll be discussing what's driving their rise, what skills are most in demand, and how individuals can position themselves to thrive in this dynamic future of work. And then we wrap up the show at 11:30 with our health and wellness feature. And today, we are talking about the benefits of intermittent fasting. But we start with the 702 open line. And once again, we'll be connecting the dots following the testimony of the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masemola.
That's coming Manyatela between 9 and 12.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
All right, here we go. Gavin in Benoni. Are you there? Are you there, Gavin?
Yes. Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Do you want to go to the Joy of Jazz at the Sandton Convention Center?
If I win.
Huh?
If I win, it's for my parents.
It's for your parents?
Yeah.
That's an even more noble attempt to win tickets.
Yeah.
Gavin, answer this for me. Over how many days will the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz event be held?
Is it 3, Bongani?
It is indeed 3. Congratulations.
Yes.
Gavin, you've won 2 tickets to Saturday's Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. So definitely
Thank
Mom
you
and
so
Dad
much.
will be thrilled on your behalf. You stay on the line. The producers will confirm all your details. We're giving these away all week, eh? But if you don't win, go by and see you there.
This master doesn't just start, it wakes up. Anticipation. The wheel settles into your hands. Seat and mirrors adjust. You didn't ask. It just knew. Then the 3.3-liter turbo diesel clears its throat. And suddenly, you're flying, weaving through sunlight. Goosebumps on your commute. The feeling will find you in the Mazda CX-60. Wonder awaits.
Okay, truck 7, that has 0 warning lights. Truck 8, it's just been serviced. I guess we're running like a well-oiled machine. Where would I be without My Way's comprehensive cover for my vans and trucks? Plus, cover for my customers' orders with goods and transit insurance. I guess we'll never know.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Oh. And that takes you somewhere, does it not? Books, bubbles, bites, and plenty of buzz. That's what Parkview is promising this Heritage Day with a much-loved Parkview Heritage Festival. It returns to Tyrone Avenue. So there'll be wine tastings, nearly 90 wines, and, of course, chats with some of South Africa's most celebrated authors. Something for everyone. Families can look forward to kids' activities, storytelling, drama workshops, and that real sense of community. The best part, every ticket sold helps support the Parkview Library, keeping culture alive and reading in the heart of Joburg. Michelle Dancer is the social coordinator for the Parkview Residents Association and joins us now. Michelle, this sounds absolutely fantastic. It's all happening on the 24th of September, yeah?
Tomorrow, yes. Hi, Bongani. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well. So tell me, books, bubbles, bites, and buzz.
Yes. It's the Parkview. Oh my goodness! Sorry, I'm
It's going to be so great. You don't know where to start.
Sorry, Bongani.
I understand.
Parkview Heritage Festival. It's really a beautiful event that we host every few years in Parkview to celebrate our heritage as a city, as a suburb. It's taking place tomorrow in Tyrone Avenue, where we're closing off the road between Ennis Road and Athlone Road. All the restaurants spill out onto the street. We have a beautiful Fat Tuesday, who you just heard, New Orleans band playing. We've got the Parktown Boys bringing their orchestra. It's just such a lovely community event. And as you mentioned, we're raising money to support our library.
The library,
that's there for over 60 years, which we are very excited about.
Can you maybe give me an idea of some of the authors that may be coming along and perhaps some of the panels and what some of the discussions could be about? Michelle?
Definitely, yes. So we've got 9 panel discussions happening tomorrow. Most of the speakers are actually from Parkview or the surrounding suburbs. We've got journalists, authors, academics, people like Tanya Zaks, Mondli Makanya, Craig Higginson, Hamilton Wendy, Zanele MG, William Gumede, Justice Edwin Cameron, Pamela Power. We've got an amazing group of people coming to talk about very different things. We've got some of the things that people can expect are how to write your own book and get it published, what form reading and writing will take up for the new tech future, writing non-fiction, the future of South Africa, obviously, which is very important, rehabilitation in prisons, land restoration and conservation. This is one of my favorite topics actually, is how migrant Ethiopians have built a trading mecca in the inner city of Joburg. Which is, that's going to be a fascinating talk. And then we've also got how to build a showpiece race car. So we really have an amazing, amazing selection of talks and panels and discussions, and it's going to be hard to pick which one to go and see.
Yes,
So,
and
yeah.
I mean, from books to food, and even more delicious subject, Michelle, is going to be conversations about wine.
Oh yes, so this is actually my passion. I'm very excited about the park wine this year. We've got amazing local and international wineries, but we've mostly obviously South African wines like Iona, Painted Wolf, Graham Beck, Porcupine Ridge, Runner Duck, Vergenoeg, Bruce Jack, Almenkerk, Ataraxia, Paul Rene, Gabriel's Kloof, Liberty Firm, Walker Bay, who else? Van Hunks. And we've got some beautiful Greek wines coming. It's just, it really is going to be wonderful. We also have a lady from La Cheeserie who's going to be selling her French cheeses in the wine garden. We're going to have some comfortable seating, some water. It's going to be a fabulous day. So definitely worth buying your tickets for the park wine.
And where can people buy tickets?
They can buy tickets at on the day tomorrow, but we really encourage people to buy before the time. It helps us out a lot, but it also helps to stop people from queuing. They can go to the store at parkview.org.za, and then they can just go to the Heritage Festival tab there and buy tickets for 50 Rand for kids, 100 Rand for adults, or 250 for the park wines.
Oh, and it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and it's all the way through to 6 o'clock in the evening. I mean, very random thought intrusion, Michelle. Just go with me. Who do you, Prince or Michael Jackson? Who do you choose? Right? It's an impossible choice. Hold on. Graham Beck or Paul Rene? It's an impossible choice. Come along to the Parkview Heritage Festival. Have both. Don't have to choose. And you very generously offered us some tickets to give away, Michelle.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Explain how many and how are we doing it?
So we're doing a family prize. So someone can I probably should mention some of the sponsors, just because that's one of the answers that they have to give for this one, which is Exclusive Books, Jonathan Ball Publishers, and Ultra Liquors Parkview. They are actually spending a lot of money on helping us to do the kids zone and the kids area.
All right.
And so the family prize includes 2 adult tickets and 2 kids tickets, and all they have to do is mention who one of our sponsors are
all right.
for the event. And then the second one would be 2 tickets for the wine, 2 tickets for the park wine, which also include the literary talks. And all they have to do is just mention one of our amazing wines that will be showcased on the day.
All right. If you want those, call us now on 011 8830 702. We've got one family package for 2 adults and 2 kids. And then, of course, we've got the park wine part of the festival, and that includes access to the wine discussions and some of the more cerebral interactions with authors and people in the neighborhood. That's absolutely fantastic, Michelle. I wish you a fantastic Heritage Day. That's happening tomorrow. Tyrone Avenue in Parkview from 9 o'clock in the morning until 6.
Thank you so much, Bongani. Have a lovely day. Hope to see you there tomorrow.
You too, Michelle. Bye-bye. Michelle Dancer there, the social coordinator of the Parkview Residents Association. All of this, of course, to help out their library in Parkview. And that brings us to the end of this edition of 702 Breakfast. It is Heritage Day tomorrow, so I will be taking the holiday, but I'll see you bright and early on Thursday. You have yourselves a wonderful day and a happy Heritage Day tomorrow.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. A shutdown in Forchville is underway on Johannesburg's West Rand. Residents there are demanding water be restored after being without supply for more than a month. The issue was sparked by the Miraflores municipality's 1.4 billion rand debt to Rand Water, which has resulted to 40% cuts in bulk supply in some of the areas. Meanwhile, residents in parts of Midrand will have to contend with low water supply due to a constrained system. system. Affected areas in parts of Midrand will have to contend with low water supply due to a constrained system. Affected areas include Carswell, Kyalami and Ruby Ridge. Joburg Water is urging residents to use water sparingly during this time, and the utility says it has closed off supply to reduce water losses, and this will increase water levels in reservoirs which are currently below 50%. The Patriotic Alliance is threatening to pull out of every coalition it has with the ANC if its Deputy President, Kenny Kunene, is not reinstated to his job as Johannesburg's Transport MMC within 7 days. Kunene has been cleared of wrongdoing by his party after he was suspended in July for alleged links to controversial businessman Katiso KT Molefe. He resigned from his position as MMC and as a councillor pending an outcome of an internal investigation. PA leader Gauteng McKenzie announced on Facebook last night that Kunene is ready to assume his previous position.
Within 7 days, if Kunene is not back in his position, every PA member in JB Max, every PA coalition with the ANC, you withdraw with immediate effect. Stay 1 day, 1 hour after instruction has gone out that you must withdraw from every coalition we have with the ANC.
After a stinging rebuke from President Cyril Ramaphosa to Parliament over the failure to have established the National Gender-Based Violence Council, the positions are set to be advertised imminently. House Chairperson Cedric Froelich has told political parties he considers the matter a priority and has given the Portfolio Committee an instruction to act swiftly. The council is to be set up under an Act of Parliament which Ramaphosa signed into law almost a year ago, and it is meant to provide strategic leadership to prevent and respond to gender-based violence and femicide. Lindsay Dentlinger reports.
Answering questions in the National Assembly 2 weeks ago, President Cyril Ramaphosa said MPs could not pin the blame on him for the delays in setting up the National GBV Council, and if it were up to him, the appointments would already have been made. The Committee of Women and Youth have been grappling with this matter for several months over budget concerns and whether further tweaks are needed to the legislation. But after the President slammed Parliament for the delays, House Chairperson Cedric Froelich has now cracked the whip.
We are not going to go into amendments and to consider any other matter. Is that they must proceed to move towards the advertisement shortlisting and come with report to the National Assembly so that it can be sent to the President.
Froelich says any amendments to the Establishing Act can be considered at a later stage. The GBV Council is to comprise 13 members, of which at least 7 should represent civil society, and 80% of them must be women. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has been charged with crimes against humanity by the International Criminal Court. The 80-year-old is accused of being criminally responsible for dozens of murders that allegedly took place as part of his so-called war on drugs, during which thousands of small-time drug dealers, users and others were killed without trial. The ICC's charge sheet, which includes several redactions, dates from July but was only made public yesterday. ICC's deputy prosecutor says that Duterte was an indirect co-perpetrator in the killings, which the court alleges were carried out by others, including police. Gold is trading at $3,755.28 an ounce. The rand is at 17.35 to the dollar, 23.45 to the pound, 20.48 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $66.21 a barrel.
And in the traffic, the N3, both directions, remains heavily backed up between the Baku interchange and Modderfontein Road due to roadworks as well as an earlier accident along this route. As a result, Modderfontein Road is backed up towards the N3 turn-off, as well as Vincent Chabalala Road and Marlborough Drive. So please be on the lookout if you're driving around the Alex, Kelvin and Greenstone areas. Traveling on the N1 South, bumper-to-bumper traffic between Olifantsfontein Road and the Baku interchange, and that's due to roadworks taking place along this route.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 30 and 32 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, a shutdown in Forcheville is underway in Johannesburg's West Rand.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyatela
on 702.
Let's Walk the Talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Clement Madimecha Manyatela show. It's great to have you with us here on 702. I hope you're good this morning. We were broadcasting from Durban yesterday. Guess where we're broadcasting from today? Well, we're in Pretoria, in Tshwane, at the CSIR, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. We are here at the International Conference Center because it's the third G20 Research and Innovation Working Group and Research and Innovation Ministerial meeting. So this is a meeting that brings together G20 member states, guest countries, you've got multilateral organizations here, and global science partners to advance inclusive science, technology, and innovation for sustainable development. So this is why we're here at the CSIR. But we start the 702 open line with your calls on 011-883-0702. You can send us your WhatsApps on 072-702-1702. Can we connect the dots again today? Because this is what we've been doing, isn't it? Every time we've seen this testimony, we started with Mkwanazi, who was at the Matlanga Commission last week. What we do is we come and we try to connect the dots from what we've been able to pick up from what they have shared with us. And I want us to do the same thing today. And I want us to help each other, right? Following Fani Masemola's testimony yesterday at the Matlanga Commission, what dots have you been able to connect from what he shared with the Commission? What piqued your interest? Give us a call or send us a WhatsApp voice note, please. But between 10 and 11 o'clock, we have a conversation with ICASA, Chairperson Mutibi Ramusi. There's a lot to talk about. As you know, the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa is the country's official regulator of communications, broadcasting and postal services. It develops regulations for these sectors. It issues licenses to telecommunications and broadcasting service providers. They monitor license compliance with rules and regulations. They plan and manage the radio frequency spectrum, and they protect consumers like you and I against unfair business practices and poor quality services. And I saw that they recently marked 25 years of their existence. So as the regulator reflects on its legacy and future role, there are debates around its policies that continue to cause a stir. Remember what the communications minister, Solly Malatsi, argued a couple of months ago, that ICASA's current requirements for 30% triple BEE ownership is outdated, and he was warning that it risks discouraging investment and shifting innovation, or even stifling it in the telecommunications industry. So I want to have a chat about that. I want to chat about, yes, the advancements in ICT, but we still have South Africans that are still struggling with broadband speed and quality compared to leading global markets. I think we probably have a near universal 3G and 4G coverage, and yet the issue of affordability and accessibility remains a huge challenge. So what role does ICASA play in bridging the affordability gap for consumers? So that and many more issues between 10 and 11 o'clock as we host the ICASA chairperson Mutibi Ramusi. At 11 o'clock, we're going to do our World of Work feature, and today we're looking at the fastest growing careers in 2025. Right, we'll be discussing what's driving their rise, right? What skills are most in demand right now, and how can you or your children position themselves to thrive in this dynamic future of work? You know, how should young professionals, for instance, and even mid-career workers adapt or reskill to stay competitive in this environment? And then we're going to wrap up the show at 11:30 with our health and wellness feature. Today we're talking about the effects of intermittent fasting, good and bad, right? Intermittent fasting has become a hot topic, beyond just weight management. Research has uncovered just surprising benefits for energy, for focus, and even longevity. I mean, some have said that it helps with weight and energy. Others say it clears their mind. And for a few, it even saves money on the grocery bill. But other people feel like it hasn't really worked for them. So we're going to look at the effects of intermittent fasting, good and bad, on our health and wellness feature at 11:30. That's the show coming up over the next 3 hours.
Clement Maniatella. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Okay, let's connect the dots. What did Fanima Semola say yesterday that piqued your interest? And I want to start off with something that you could argue